the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 376. It's a pity it's fake. Sure enough, Kang Xiaobo's father frowned as he looked over at Kang Xiaobo. Seeing the two men and two women, he couldn't help but frown. Before, he hadn't thought too much about it. It was normal for his son to bring his classmates to the birthday party, but two men and two women was a bit obvious. After Kang Xiaoming said this, Kang's father also suspected that they were two couples. Could his son have learned bad habits? However, in such a public place, Kang's father still couldn't ask Kang Xiaobo. He also knew that his cousin might not have good intentions. He had previously tried every means to prevent Kang Xiaobo and his classmates from staying at the hotel. Perhaps there was some grudge. It seemed that the grudge was with a girl next to his son. As for the claim that this girl was shamelessly seducing this one and that one, Kang's father was skeptical. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Dr. Kang's birthday party officially began, and Lin Yi saw a few familiar faces one after another. There was Liu Xianyi and Guan Zumin, who were sitting at a table chatting. Dr. Kang's eldest son, Kang Giffen, the current head of the Pengzhan Group, was also seated at their table, chatting and laughing with the two. Lin Yi didn't go over to greet them, but instead hid in a corner, waiting for the banquet to begin. After Kang Xiaobo presented him with a birthday gift, he turned and left. It seemed inevitable that after establishing the Dr. Guan brand, he would become a competitor to Dr. Kang, so there was no need to worry. Judging from Kang Xiaobo's current situation, there was absolutely no chance of reconciliation between him and the Kang Xiaoming family. At least not with Xiaofan around. Amidst the MC's impassioned speech and the guests' applause, Dr. Kang slowly emerged. He was a rather dignified elder, dressed in red hanfu, evoking the air of traditional Chinese medicine. While their rise to fame stemming from a single miraculous prescription, which catapulted them to a leading position in the domestic pharmaceutical industry, was somewhat unspeakable, it was undeniable that Dr. Kang's Jinshuang medicine possessed miraculous healing properties. Of course, many veterans in the medical field weren't too impressed with Dr. Kang, because in their opinion, he wasn't a miracle doctor at all. He'd only earned the name he did today by finding a good prescription from nowhere. Looking at the other medicines his company produced, they were nothing more than common remedies for colds, headaches, and fevers. The formulas were all public, and there was nothing special about them. If it weren't for the reputation of his golden shuang medicine, it wouldn't be a question whether those common medicines would sell. But he was lucky. With a famous medicine, whatever he released later, even ordinary medicines, was still a big seller. That's why he built a Pengzhan pharmaceutical group into a giant in such a short period of time. In reality, many people knew that Dr. Kang's medical skills were not very impressive. Thank you all for attending Dr. Kang's 62nd birthday. Now, Dr. Kang's descendants will offer their blessings. The MC began the banquet's first act, presenting gifts. After these, prominent figures and Dr. Kang's old acquaintances and friends took their turn. Others were denied the opportunity to present gifts and could only leave their gifts at the registration desk at the entrance. First up was Dr. Kang's eldest son, Kang Giffen. He walked on stage with his head held high, holding a beautifully wrapped red brocade box. "Dad, I'm giving you a 100-year-old Xianshan snow lotus." Kang Giffen presented the box with both hands, respectfully saying, "I wish you good health and longevity." "Excellent, very good. Bring it here and see," Dr. Kang instructed the MC. The MC quickly brought the box up to Dr. Kang, opening it. Sure enough, inside lay a Xianshan snow lotus. Judging by its size, it must have been at least 70 or 80 years old, if not 100. Wow, the entire audience erupted in excitement. As expected of a family of miraculous doctors, their birthday gifts were all such rare treasures. After the eldest son, Kang Giffen, withdrew, the youngest son, Kang Kipu, presented his gift. He held a similar, incredibly beautiful brocade box. "Dad, I'm bringing you a 1,000-year-old ginseng, already taking human form. This is the wild ginseng I sent people searching the mountains for 3 years and 3 months to find." Kang Kipu presented the brocade box with both hands, saying respectfully, "May Dad live as long as the southern mountains." "Yes, yes, yes." Divine Dr. Kang uttered 3 yeses, motioning to the MC, "Bring it up." Let me see what a 1,000-year-old ginseng looks like. The 100-year-old snow lotus that eldest son Kang Gifeng had presented was already rare, but this ginseng was 1,000 years old, even rarer still. How could divine Dr. Kang not be thrilled? The MC quickly brought the brocade box up and presented it to divine Dr. Kang. He opened it, and inside, he found an enormous, large ginseng. It has already grown into human form. Although it's unknown if it's 1,000 years old, it's certainly a rare treasure. The guests exclaimed in amazement, gazing enviously at the large ginseng in Dr. Kang's hands, their mouths brimming with congratulations. Your cousin is quite the flatterer, sending a large ginseng, but it's fake. It seems he's a con man, just like that Kang Xiaoming. Lin Yi spoke softly, speaking only to Kang Xiaobo, Tang Yun, and Xia Fen, but the other guests nearby also heard. Fake? Is it really fake? The nearby guests were a little startled by Lin Yi's words, and they all looked at him. If these people hadn't noticed, the incident would have passed. However, Kang Kipu overheard their commotion and cast a cold, unfriendly glance at Lin Yi. However, Kang Kuipu didn't say anything. Instead, he gave his son Kang Xiaoming a look. Kang Xiaoming immediately jumped out, pointing at Lin Yi and shouting, "Who is this guy messing around here? What's fake?" "This ginseng is fake." Seeing Kang Xiaoming's eagerness, Lin Yi smiled faintly. "Artificially cultivated, it's naturally fake. Not even 10 years old, let alone 1,000 years old." Lin Yi didn't want to get involved in Kang Xiaobo's family affairs, but this Kang Xiaoming was so abominable that Lin Yi didn't mind making a few sarcastic remarks and making a fool of himself, both him and his father. "Someone, get him out. How dare he mess up Grandpa's birthday party?" Kang Xiaoming roared in frustration. The security guards in the banquet hall all knew about Lin Yi and Li Yixin's relationship, so even though they heard Kang Xiaoming's order, they didn't dare to take action. "Xiaoming, calm down." Although Dr. Kang was also annoyed by the disruption, he didn't want to directly chase the guests away like his grandson would. Chapter 377. What a shame. Although he didn't know much about ginseng, he didn't quite believe his youngest son. He was a lazy man who didn't work at the company, spending his annual dividends on eating, drinking, whoring, and gambling. His grandson was just like him. What kind of 1,000-year-old ginseng could he possibly dig up? Dr. Kang himself didn't quite believe it. But regardless of whether it was true or not, this was his son's gift. Even if it was fake, it couldn't be revealed to outsiders. If there was anything, they should talk about it behind closed doors. Now that Lin Yi, an outsider, had brought it out, Dr. Kang felt humiliated. "Boy, why do you say this ginseng is fake?" Dr. Kang's voice, though a little annoyed, remained calm, like an elder. "If you were just talking nonsense, then apologize and I'll pretend I didn't hear you. But if you don't apologize, sorry, you're not welcome here." Dr. Kang's words were well reasoned and no one could find fault with him. Instead, they thought he was very magnanimous. Lin Yi had humiliated them so much, yet Dr. Kang simply asked him to apologize and let it go. Lin Yi hadn't expected such a strong reaction from these people. Even the old Dr. Kang had jumped in. It seemed that if he didn't say a few words, Kang Xiaobo would be implicated. Lin Yi could only stand up and explain somewhat helplessly. Wild ginseng has a long rhizome and dense rhizome bowls. The ginseng body is the same length as the rhizome, human-shaped, horizontal, and shorter. The horizontal lines on the main root are fine and clear, the color is darker, the skin is fine and tough, and there are many pearly nodules, which are obvious and easy to see. The artificially cultivated ones are called garden ginseng, with a short rhizome and few rhizome bowls. The ginseng body is cylindrical, separated by 8 characters, straight, and longer. The horizontal lines on the main root are sparse and discontinuous, the skin is rough and brittle, and the pearly nodules are not obvious. As for the authenticity of this ginseng, I think there should be experts in this area here. Dr. Kang doesn't understand, so there should be someone who knows how to identify it. Lin Yi's words were very hurtful. It was obviously a satire on Dr. Kang for not knowing anything. If he couldn't even identify the authenticity of ginseng, how could he be called a miracle doctor? Dr. Kang's face fell. He hadn't expected Lin Yi's argument to be so coherent. He had assumed Lin Yi was just talking nonsense, and if he spoke up and gave him a way out, the matter would be over. But now, Dr. Kang was in a dilemma. "You're talking nonsense," Kang Xiaoming jumped in again. "Grandpa, don't listen to this guy's nonsense. He was sent by Kang Xiaobo to cause trouble. Let's put the ginseng away first and ignore him. Kang Xiaoming's words clearly made people feel guilty. If the ginseng was not fake, it should be taken out for identification by the experts present. What was his intention in putting it away quickly? Kang Xiaoming was indeed guilty. He and his father, Kang Kipu, had bought this ginseng together. How could he not know whether it was real? This ginseng was purchased from an artificial farm for only a few thousand yuan. How could it be a 1,000-year-old ginseng? But both Kang Kipu and Kang Xiaoming knew their father didn't know whether the ginseng was genuine, and neither did Kang Kipu's eldest brother, Kang Giffen. Even if Kang Giffen guessed it was fake, he wouldn't lose face in front of outsiders. Besides, Kang Kipu only took dividends and didn't compete for power in the company, which meant Kang Giffen had no grudge against him. The two brothers were quite harmonious, and Kang Giffen often covered up for Kang Kipu's misdeeds. But then, unexpectedly, Lin Yi suddenly showed up. Forget it, take it. Whether it's real or not, it's Quipu's sincere gift. Dr. Kang was no fool. Since Lin Yi said so, he must be sure. Any further questioning would only bring shame upon himself. It was better to admit it openly. After all, everyone knew what kind of person his youngest son was. His reputation was already bad, so a little more was not a big deal. Dr. Kang's casual admission didn't cause any uproar. Since Dr. Kang had said so, no one bothered to verify the truth. Next, Kang Xiaobo's father presented a simple gift, just a few-year-old Ganoderma lucidum. Kang Kipu and Kang Xiaoming were initially resentful and wanted to find fault with it, but they were told it was just an ordinary few-year-old Ganoderma lucidum. There was nothing wrong with a few-year-old Ganoderma lucidum, and it wasn't a rare treasure to begin with. If they insisted on finding fault, it would be like nitpicking, which would only make them even more despised. Kang Kipu and Kang Xiaoming had no choice but to wait and vent their anger on Kang Xiaobo. Several of his sons and grandsons had presented birthday gifts, leaving the grandchildren behind. However, according to Dr. Kang's philosophy of favoring boys over girls, only males could present gifts, granddaughters were not allowed to go on stage. The first to take the stage was Kang Giffen's son, Kang Xiaolong. This Kang Xiaolong looked older, in his 20s, wearing glasses and a refined demeanor. He held a document in his hand and walked over with a steady demeanor. Grandpa, this is the medical topic I researched while I was a doctoral student at school. I have already obtained a patent. This is the certificate of honor from the school. Kang Xiaolong respectfully handed over the certificate in his hand. The MC was about to take it, but Dr. Kang waved his hand and walked over in person, his face beaming, sweeping away his previous unhappiness. Okay, Xiaolong, you are great. Grandpa is very happy. As he said that, Dr. Kang took the certificate, looked at it for a while with a smile, then patted Kang Xiaolong on the shoulder and said, "Work hard, you are the next generation of miracle doctor in our Kang family." Wow, the applause from the audience rang out. Everyone knew that this was Dr. Kang designating his successor. Your cousin is studying medicine. Lin Yi was a little surprised. He didn't expect that there was actually a younger generation studying medicine in Dr. Kang's family. Well, my eldest cousin graduated from a regular medical school and is currently pursuing a doctorate in traditional Chinese medicine, Kang Xiaobo introduced. In fact, he is the only one who truly understands medical skills. Although this statement is a bit ironic and ridiculous, it is a fact. Lin Yi was also a little speechless. How come the Kang family of divine doctor looked so much like amateurs who became monks? Then it was Kang Xiaoming's turn to come on stage. His gift was even more magical. He said it was some ancient medicine prescription. However, with the previous experience of his father Kang Kipu, no one was curious anymore. They thought it was fake. How could an ancient medicine prescription be so easy to get? However, this way Kang Xiaoming escaped a disaster. If the prescription was made public for everyone to see, Lin Yi would be able to recognize it at a glance. It was just a very common typhoid fever prescription, which was written in many Chinese medicine books and bookstores. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 378 I Step on Me. Even if Divine Dr. Kang didn't understand medicine, he had read a lot of medical books over the years to avoid being ridiculed. How could this extremely common typhoid fever prescription be called a timeless remedy? What a prodigal son. Divine Dr. Kang lamented in his heart, but fortunately, his eldest son Kang Gifeng and his eldest grandson Kang Xiaolong were both very capable. This meant that the Kang family would continue and would not decline after his death. At least it would continue to Kang Xiaolong's generation without worries. As for his great-grandson, his children and grandchildren would have their own blessings, and Divine Dr. Kang could not control what would happen after his death. Dr. Kang placed Kang Xiaoming's prescription under Kang Xiaolong's certificate and nodded nonchalantly, "Okay, whether this prescription is useful or not, it's Xiaoming's sincere gift." After Kang Xiaoming left, it was Kang Xiaobo's turn to go on stage to present his gift. When the host called Kang Xiaobo's name, Kang Xiaobo suddenly became nervous. "Boss, is this okay?" "Sure, of course. Just go." Lin Yi patted Kang Xiaobo on the shoulder and encouraged him. Kang Xiaobo nodded and walked onto the stage holding the antique-style box Lin Yi had given him. "Second grandfather, what I have in my hand is a rare elixir called the longevity and detoxification pill. After taking it, a large amount of impurities will be expelled from the body, achieving the purpose of cleansing the marrow and strengthening the bones. After detoxification, the body's entire physiological function will return to its peak state, and it can add at least 5 to 10 years to your lifespan." Kang Xiaobo said this and presented the small box with both hands. "Second grandfather, happy birthday to you." "Oh," Dr. Kang frowned, feeling a little unhappy. As Dr. Kang, a top figure in the medical field, he had never heard of such a thing as a longevity and detoxification pill. Could it really prolong life by cleansing the marrow and strengthening the bones after taking it? Dr. Kang felt that if he accepted the pill, he would obviously lose face. As Dr. Kang, what did he need such a pill? Especially for something that sounded like a magic pill and was unreliable. However, before Dr. Kang could say anything, Kang Xiaoming jumped out and snatched the small box from Kang Xiaobo's hand. He was just worried about not being able to find a reason or excuse to attack Kang Xiaobo, but Kang Xiaobo actually came to him on his own initiative. "Kang Xiaobo, stop playing tricks on me. You're talking about a longevity and detoxification pill? How is that possible? Do you think you're just a street vendor selling powerful pills?" Kang Xiaoming glared and said, "Who is my grandfather? He's the magic Dr. Kang. What medicine doesn't our family have? But I've never heard of such a thing in the world. There are so many things you haven't heard of," Kang Xiaobo said coldly. "HMPH, what a piece of junk. Then I'll open it and show everyone." Kang Xiaoming got angry when he heard that Kang Xiaobo still dared to argue. "You won't cry until you see the coffin." As he said, Kang Xiaoming opened the small box in Kang Xiaobo's hand, took out a black pill from it, and laughed out loud. "What kind of longevity and detoxification pill do you say this broken mud pill is? It can also cleanse the marrow and strengthen the bones? Have you read too many martial arts novels? Have you gone astray?" "Second grandpa, I have already delivered my birthday gift. My heart is there. Since my second cousin doesn't believe it, I can't do anything about it." Kang Xiaobo resisted the urge to turn his face immediately, and still said calmly, "What? Are you feeling guilty?" Kang Xiaoming saw Kang Xiaobo's look and thought he was feeling guilty. "Kang Xiaobo, don't think I don't know why you are here. Aren't you here to stand up for that bitch? You actually treasure the stuff I left behind. You made a miraculous thing that we have never heard of and gave it to my grandfather as a magic pill. Aren't you trying to embarrass our family? I know what you are thinking. You want people to see that medical families have never seen this kind of magic pill. That's what you think, right? But you are wrong. My grandfather doesn't want this piece of junk from you." As he said that, Kang Xiaoming threw the longevity and detoxification pill on the ground, and then stepped on it. That was not enough. He rolled it hard with the sole of his foot until it turned into a pile of sticky crumbs. "Okay, your birthday gift is finished. Go down." During the whole process, Dr. Kang didn't say a word and stood there with a gloomy face. Because he had suspected it before. Not only Kang Xiaobo, but even his eldest son couldn't get such an elixir, so where did Kang Xiaobo get it from? He thought it must be fake. He could tolerate Kang Xiaoming, because Kang Xiaoming was his grandson, but he couldn't tolerate Kang Xiaobo. He felt that Kang Xiaobo was here to stir up trouble. Especially after listening to what his grandson Kang Xiaoming said, it turned out that this cousin Kang Xiaobo was here to pick a fight over a woman. Nonsense, Dr. Kang snorted coldly and looked at Kang Xiaobo's father. "You taught your son well, why don't you take him down? Leaving him here to embarrass himself." As for Kang Xiaoming, who had arrogantly crushed the elixir before. Dr. Kang ignored him and didn't blame him, obviously protecting him. Kang Xiaobo's father was furious. Although his son's getting an elixir as a birthday gift seemed inappropriate, it was Kang Xiaoming who was stirring up trouble from beginning to end. How could he embarrass his son? Xiaobo, have you been bewitched? Who gave you that lousy elixir? Why don't you apologize to your second grandfather? Kang's father scolded Kang Xiaobo. To give him a way out, he shifted the blame for the elixir onto someone else, implying that Kang Xiaobo was bewitched and had nothing to do with him. Impossible. How could the elixir given by the boss be fake? Someone was blind and didn't know what was good. Kang Xiaobo was furious. He stiffened his neck and said stubbornly, "What a shame such a good thing is wasted." Kang Xiaobo had unconditional trust in Lin Yi. Lin Yi said it was an elixir, so he naturally believed it was. Kang Xiaobo had been holding it in for a while, and now even his father was blaming him. He finally exploded. "Xiaobo, the gift has been delivered anyway. Some people claim to be miracle doctors, but they were just old, dim-sighted quacks." Lin Yi, accompanied by Tang Yun and Xiaofan, walked over and spoke calmly to Kang Xiaobo. "This is our Kang family's business. You have no right to say anything." Dr. Kang was already furious when Lin Yi exposed the ginseng scandal. Now that he saw him interfering in his family's affairs again, he immediately showed no mercy. Today's birthday party had already been messed up by Kang Xiaobo and his classmates, and Dr. Kang simply tore his face off. This was his big day, and these people came to mess it up. How could he tolerate it? Chapter 379, playing a supporting role. Mr. Lin, Liu Xianyi couldn't believe his eyes. He saw Lin Yi actually appeared at this banquet, and he seemed to be on Kang Xiaobo's side. Liu Xianyi made a choice in his heart almost without hesitation, that is to stand on Lin Yi's side. He had to explain to Lin Yi that he came to attend the birthday party of Dr. Kang just to keep his face. Mr. Lin, why are you here? I didn't see you before. I'm so sorry. Under the stunned gaze of the audience, Liu Xianyi quickly ran to Lin Yi's side and said respectfully. How to choose between Lin Yi and Dr. Kang to maximize the interests of the Liu family was almost unnecessary for Liu Xianyi to consider. Especially after hearing Guan Zuman say that Lin Yi had the intention to launch the Dr. Guan brand with him, Liu Xianyi was even more dismissive of Dr. Kang. You are just a poor doctor, but you have a golden medicine. Lin Yi is the real doctor. Haha, I'm here with my classmate. Lin Yi shrugged and said with a smile, it seems that some people are not interested in my elixir. If I had known this, I might as well give it to you. Really? That's great. Do you have any more? Liu Xianyi was immediately flattered when he heard Lin Yi's words. He had never doubted Lin Yi's elixir. He believed Lin Yi when he said it could bring the dead back to life. He had seen his father's condition. From an old man in his twilight years, he had become almost in his prime. Recently, he even started a vegetable garden to grow vegetables. Liu Xianyi was delighted to see this change. Of course, the person he was most grateful to was Lin Yi. The 100 million was really worth it. It seems that he has to continue to be friends with Lin Yi in the future. I don't have any for now. This was given to me by an expert. Lin Yi shook his head. If I have any, I'll give you one. Okay, thank you, Mr. Lin. Thank you, Mr. Lin. Don't worry, I'm not the kind of person who takes it for free. As long as there's this elixir, let alone 100 million, I will give you 200 million, Liu Xianyi said repeatedly. Although his father's health was fine, it would be nice to have an elixir at home. He was not young anymore, and maybe he would need it someday. Everyone present, including Dr. Kang, was a little dumbfounded by Liu Xianyi's words. The broken pill that Kang Xiaoming had just crushed was actually worth 200 million? Was it made of diamond? If these people didn't know Liu Xianyi and knew his identity, they might think that he was a pawn hired by Kang Xiaobo to help him forge the money. But who was Liu Xianyi? Did he need to cooperate with others in forging the money? Moreover, let alone Kang Xiaobo, even Dr. Kang himself couldn't ask Liu Xianyi to forge the money. Xianyi, why didn't you give me one of your elixir? It was wasted for no reason. What a pity. Just when everyone was extremely stunned, something even more shocking happened. Guan Zuman actually stood up, walked over with a smile, and patted Lin Yi on the shoulder. Dr. Kang's face changed again. Could it be that the elixir he had mentioned before was real? Otherwise, why would even Guan Zuman say that? While Dr. Kang felt that Guan Zuman wasn't making as much money as he was, his medical skills were indeed superior to his own. Grandpa Guan, Mr. Liu, we're leaving. What about you? Lin Yi asked with a smile. I have something else to ask you. Of course, I'm going back with you. Guan Zuman understood Lin Yi's intentions and smiled. After all, once the pharmaceutical company was established, he would inevitably compete with Dr. Kang for market share, so he didn't care about face. There's no point in staying here. I'd rather stay with Mr. Lin. Liu Xianyi immediately expressed his loyalty. He knew the importance of a miracle doctor to the family, and one who could bring people back to life. So, Liu Xianyi had long since given up his pretensions. What good was all his wealth and power? Death would mean nothing, right? But with Lin Yi as a friend, he had a golden ticket to immortality. Liu Xianyi was no fool. Kang Xiaobo's father wanted to stand up and scold his son. What kind of friend had he brought to the party to cause trouble? But at this moment, all he could do was feel excited. His son's classmate was surprisingly capable. Liu Xianyi of the Liu family and Guan Zuman, the divine doctor, were all extremely friendly to him. This made divine Dr. Kang's reputation plummet. Lin Yi turned his head and gave Kang Xiaobo a cold glance. If you're a man, take Xiaofan's hand and prove it to them. This was a good opportunity for Kang Xiaobo. If he forced him to acknowledge Xiaofan as his girlfriend at this time, then even if Kang Xiaobo's parents were reluctant, there would be nothing they could do. He had already laid a good foundation for him. Now the momentum of the whole audience was on his side. If Kang Xiaobo took Xiaofan's hand and announced something to Kang Xiaoming, he would not receive contempt from the crowd, but shock. Kang Xiaobo nodded, took Xiaofan's hand, and looked at Kang Xiaoming with his head held high. Second cousin, I will return the favor to you sooner or later for the harm you have done to Xiaofan. Who the hell are you? Don't think that just because your friends know a few people, you are also a person of importance. Although Kang Xiaoming was arrogant and domineering, he was not a fool. When he saw Liu Xianyi and Guan Zuman chasing after the longevity and detoxification pill so much, he knew that he was in trouble. That pill might really be real. I don't know where the kid next to Kang Xiaobo got it from, but no matter what, he crushed it to pieces. Therefore, Kang Xiaoming was obviously a little timid, afraid that others would blame him, so he shifted his target to Kang Xiaobo. Kang Xiaobo ignored him, but turned to look at his second grandfather, and said with some disappointment, Dr. Kang, I can't afford you. Others gave you a fake ginseng and a fake prescription, but you happily accepted it. I sincerely gave you a longevity and detoxification pill, but you treated it as garbage. Haha, it's better not to enter this family. After that, Kang Xiaobo took Xiaofan's hand and strode out of the banquet hall. Lin Yi had already paved the way for him. If Kang Xiaobo didn't have the courage to stand up and say these words, he would really be a coward. Lin Yi pulled Tang Yun and followed behind Kang Xiaobo. Today, he appeared as a supporting role, and the protagonist was still Kang Xiaobo. Looking at the figures of Kang Xiaobo and Lin Yi getting closer and closer, Dr. Kang knew that today's birthday banquet was destined to become a farce. Where is that pill? Dr. Kang was unhappy and could only vent his resentment on Kang Xiaoming. Kang Xiaoming was startled and looked at the place where he had just stepped on the pill. The longevity and detoxification pill that was stepped on by Kang Xiaoming into foam had already been wiped clean by the waiter in charge of cleaning the banquet hall, and the floor was clean again. Chapter 380 Met a Fat Man. However, just when Lin Yi was about to walk out of the banquet hall, an accident happened again. As soon as Lin Yi walked to the door of the banquet hall, Li Yixin followed a middle-aged man into the banquet hall in a hurry. The middle-aged man was Mr. Yan, the boss of the Sea Moon Resort. He and Li Yixin had originally come to celebrate Dr. Kang's birthday. Since they were holding a birthday party on their own territory, he, as the boss, had to be there to send his blessings. But unexpectedly, he found that some people in the banquet hall had already started to leave. The banquet had just started, right? The dishes hadn't even been served yet, so why were some people leaving? Just when Mr. Yan was puzzled, Li Yixin beside him whispered to remind him, Mr. Tian, this is Mr. Lin Yilin. Mr. Yan was slightly stunned and looked at Lin Yi carefully. Sure enough, he looked the same as in the photo in the information. He hadn't noticed before, but after Li Yixin's reminder, he immediately greeted him with a friendly smile. Young Master Lin, are you leaving? Haha, is that Uncle Yan? Seeing him and Li Yixin walking together, Lin Yi guessed his general identity. I'm just accompanying a classmate to his second grandfather's birthday party. Now that the gift has been presented, it's just that he doesn't like it. There's no need for us to stay any longer and embarrass ourselves. Mr. Yan frowned. Disliking young Master Lin's gift? Would that be courting death? However, he didn't know if Lin Yi was on a mission, so he didn't dare to say anything. He could only nod. Then do you want me to send someone to take you there? No, we can go on our own. Lin Yi waved his hand and smiled. Okay, if you need anything, just call me, or you can talk to Xiao Li. Mr. Yan nodded. This scene at the doorway was seen by all the guests, shocking them even more. Mr. Yan, the owner of the Moonlight Resort on the Sea, was a well-known figure in Donghae City's upper-class society. He was surprisingly polite with Lin Yi. What was Lin Yi's status? Was he the son of a wealthy family? It looked like he was. The one with the ugliest expression was none other than Dr. Kang. He had never imagined that Kang Xiaobo's classmate was actually someone of status. If he had known Lin Yi was a wealthy second generation, he would never have let Kang Xiaoming crush that pill. The pill actually looked real. Huh? Kang Xiaobo sighed as he left the banquet hall, then clenched his fists in excitement. Boss, this is the first time I've felt so proud. Look at my second grandfather and Kang Xiaoming's faces, they're twisted. They're probably regretting it now. Kang Xiaoming crushed that longevity and detoxification pill. That idiot is probably going to be in trouble when he gets home, haha. Lin Yi patted Kang Xiaobo on the shoulder. At the very least, Kang Xiaobo had taken the first step today, making him a truly capable man. Yet, what a pity. If I had known that the pill was provided by Mr. Lin, I would have gone on stage to grab the pill even if I was ridiculed, Liu Xianyi said regretfully. It's really a treasure from heaven. Xia Effin was very worried before, afraid that she would be insulted by Kang Xiaoming's family, but now, she understands that she can also stand on a high point to overlook the Kang family. Just now, when Kang Xiaobo said those words in a cold voice, when he said that Kang Xiaoming would return the harm he had done to her, Xia Effin was so excited. But Kang Xiaoming's eyes flickered, and he didn't even dare to say a word. Thank you, Xiaobo. After saying that, Xia Effin turned to look at Lin Yi. Thank you, Xiaobo's boss, haha, why say that? Lin Yi waved his hand, we are all family. Xiaobo, next I will give you a stage to perform, so that you can stand at a height that is equal to Dr. Kang, or even surpass him. Really? Kang Xiaobo was stunned, and a glimmer of hope flashed in his eyes. He had never doubted what Lin Yi said. This was really just to express his inner surprise. Boss, thank you, don't worry, I won't let you down. Just when Kang Xiaobo was extremely excited, a fat man ran out of the banquet hall, running and panting, and said as he ran, brother, wait for me. Lin Yi looked at the breathless fat man, a little puzzled. Who are you calling? I'm calling you, brother. The fat man ran to Lin Yi and knelt down in front of him with a plop. Brother, please, sell me one of those longevity and detoxification pills. I'm willing to pay any price. 100 million? No, 500 million is also fine. Lin Yi was speechless looking at the fat man. Is this guy crazy? He ran out to buy pills from him? He believed it was real? Brother, please. Seeing that Lin Yi didn't answer, the fat man suddenly hugged Lin Yi's legs and sobbed with snot and tears. Sell me one, no matter how much, as long as you are willing to sell it to me. You are my fatty savior, please. Oh my god, don't cry first. Lin Yi was really a little stupid. He wanted to move him away and ignore him, but he didn't expect this man to cry as soon as he said he would, and cry so sadly. Such a grown man knelt in front of him and cried, making Lin Yi really not know what to say. Brother, if you promise me, I won't cry anymore. Fatty Lai woke up with a runny nose, which all flowed onto Lin Yi's trouser legs, making Lin Yi feel nauseous. Then cry yourself to death. Lin Yi was speechless. Then I won't cry, and you will sell it to me. Fatty Lai quickly stopped crying and asked, Old Lai, what are you doing? If you have something to say, just say it. Look at the fool you have made. Liu Xianyi spoke, and it was obvious that he knew this fat man. Old Liu, you are talking without any hesitation. Your father's illness is cured, and you are so happy. My old man is still lying in the hospital bed. Woo woo. When talking about the sad part, Fatty Lai wooed again. I asked you to tell me the miracle doctor who treated your father, but you kept it a secret. If I don't fight for it now, I will miss the opportunity again. You old fox. Lin Yi understood. It turned out that this guy also has a sick father. He also knew Liu Xianyi and knew that Liu Xianyi's father had recovered, so he was concerned. He might have asked Liu Xianyi before, but Liu Xianyi didn't dare to tell others about his own affairs without his permission, so Fatty Lai still had a lot of resentment towards Liu Xianyi. However, Fatty Lai was not stupid. Just from Kang Xiaobo's longevity and detoxification pill and Liu Xianyi's behavior towards Lin Yi, he deduced that Lin Yi was the one who treated Liu Xinhu. Chapter 381, Garbage Grabbing. Brother, look, I'm not crying anymore. Can you sell me one? Fatty Lai ignored Liu Xianyi and looked at Lin Yi, wiping his tears. No, Lin Yi shook his head. Why, Wu, brother, I have money. I have plenty of money. If that old fox Liu Xianyi can spend, I can too, and I can spend more than him. Fatty Lai started crying again. Lin Yi was a little depressed. Why was this fat guy so fond of crying? Is he a crybaby? He explained helplessly, I only have this one, and I don't have any more now, is that so? Then when can I get more? Fatty Lai's face immediately became extremely depressed. Just one? No more? Not sure. Lin Yi didn't know this Fatty Lai, so naturally he wouldn't just give him a pill. The few pills he had were going to be given away as gifts when the company opened as a publicity stunt. Of course, Lin Yi wouldn't waste them. Although this Fatty Lai is a crybaby, and he seems to be a filial son, there are so many filial crybabies, each of them runs to his legs and asks him for pills with tears and snot. Even if he is not exhausted while refining the medicine, he will be annoyed to death by them. Therefore, this precedent cannot be broken. Never give to unfamiliar people. Oh, so that's it. Woo Fatty Lai burst into tears again when he heard what Lin Yi said, that unfilial descendant of Dr. Kang, that bastard, is really ruining God's gift. I'm going to fuck him up. Although Lin Yi felt a little sympathetic to Fatty Lai's experience, he couldn't give him pills just because of sympathy, right? Lin Yi is not a charity. At this time, a cleaner was walking over with a garbage bag, ready to throw it into the trash can in the resort park. Fatty Lai was sharp-eyed and immediately recognized that this cleaner was the one who had the pill crushed by Kang Xiaoming when he was cleaning the banquet hall. He got up from the ground and quickly ran to the cleaner. Don't throw it away, just give me this garbage bag. The cleaner was startled and looked at the fat man with tears on his face who was rushing over in a bit of confusion. What are you doing? Fatty Lai was afraid of the long night and many dreams, so he didn't explain and directly reached out to grab the garbage bag from the cleaner's hand. If it weren't for the garbage bag being filled with garbage, the cleaner almost shouted robbery. However, because the garbage bag was filled with useless garbage, the cleaner saw Fatty Lai snatching it like crazy and didn't fight with him at all. He just let go and turned around and ran away in fear. Who would fight with a madman like this, snatching a garbage bag? The cleaner thought, this fat guy looks so respectable, but he's actually a lunatic. Guess I need to stay away from him. Fatty Lai ignored the cleaner. Who cares what he thinks? The important thing is to find the pills Kang Xiaoming crushed. Lin Yi, Kang Xiaobo, Tan Yun, Xiaofan, and even Liu Xianyi stared at the frantic Fatty Lai in astonishment, unsure of what he was up to. Old Lai, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Liu Xianyi, despite a minor conflict with Fatty Lai, had a good relationship. Seeing Fatty Lai acting so shamelessly, he quickly warned him. If his business rivals saw this and filmed it, wouldn't they laugh him to death? But Fatty Lai seemed to hear nothing of Liu Xianyi's words. He untied the garbage bag in his hand, took out the contents one by one, and threw them into the trash can. There were used lunch boxes, instant noodle buckets, snotty toilet paper, chewed bubble gum, disposable chopsticks, everything was there, with flies and mosquitoes flying out. Liu Xianyi felt sick. Is this Fatty Lai crazy? What is he doing? Stop making noise. I want to find the elixir that was crushed by the prodigal son, Fatty Lai yelled while searching for something in the garbage bag quickly. Forget it, let him look for it. If he can find it, it will be his blessing. Lin Yi shook his head. Although it was crushed by Kang Xiaoming, the medicinal effect was the same. Liu Xianyi was also shocked. He didn't expect that Fatty Lai would come up with such an idea. He actually wanted to find the elixir that was crushed by Kang Xiaoming. Found it. Found it. Fatty Lai suddenly dug out a black thing from the garbage bag, and then held it in his hands excitedly, as if he had found a treasure. Great, I finally found it. Ha 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 ha. Congratulations, Brother Lalai, Liu Xianyi walked over and patted Fatty Lai on the shoulder. Get lost. Fatty Lai glared at Liu Xianyi angrily, then said, don't try to steal my longevity and detoxification pill. I won't give it to you. I won't steal it. Liu Xianyi knew that he had not told Fatty Lai about Lin Yi before, which made Fatty Lai a little unhappy. But it was not Liu Xianyi's fault. Without Lin Yi's permission, would he dare to tell others about Lin Yi's affairs? Huh? Why is this pill so big? I didn't see it this big before. Fatty Lai suddenly ran over with a black thing in his hand with some doubts, and said, young man, please help me take a look. Is this it? Why does it smell bad? Is this pill smelly? Good medicine tastes bitter? Lin Yi glanced at the black thing in Fatty Lai's hand and dodged to the back. Tang Yun wanted to go over to see what was going on, but was pulled back by Lin Yi. What's wrong? Tang Yun was a little puzzled why Lin Yi didn't let her go over. It's this pill, but it's stuck with a bunch of dog shit, Lin Yi said to Fatty Lai. Pick off the light-colored thing on the left. That's dog shit, so it stinks. Fatty Lai widened his eyes and sweated profusely. Dog shit. However, Fatty Lai gritted his teeth and had to pick the pill off even if there was dog shit on it. Liu Xianyi couldn't help but sweat on his forehead. Sticky with dog shit? Fatty Lai is so unlucky. But Fatty Lai didn't think so. Instead, he felt that he was quite lucky. What's wrong with sticky with dog shit? It's good enough to be able to find it. This is already a great thing. It doesn't matter if it's sticky with dog shit. Fatty Lai carefully picked off the side without dog shit. Although he didn't pick it off completely, there was still some stuck on the dog shit, but Fatty Lai didn't dare to pick it off again no matter what. You can't let your dad eat dog shit, right? Fatty Lai threw the dog shit half back into the trash bag, then carefully held the rest. There was no container to put them in, so he took out a box of cigars, opened the box, poured all the cigars into the trash can, and put the remaining pills in. Chapter 382. Go pick it up. Lin Yi thought to himself that Fatty Lai was truly a wealthy man. These cigars looked incredibly expensive, yet he threw them away just like that. The cost of his own pill wasn't even worth the value of one of his cigars. But Fatty Lai didn't think so. He treasured this thing as a treasure. In his eyes, this thing was priceless, not to mention 100 million. He hadn't even sold it to Lin Yi for 500 million. There's a saying that goes, 1,000 gold coins can't buy 10 years of youth. If his father could live 10 more years after taking this pill, it would truly be priceless. However, this pill seemed to be a lot smaller than before. Could it still be effective? Thinking of this, Fatty Lai hurriedly asked, young man, this pill is a lot smaller than before. Can it still be effective? Kang Xiaoming had stepped on and crushed this longevity and detoxification pill, and a lot of it had stained the floor. Only this little bit was left after being swept up, and the rest was mopped up by the cleaner. A little bit. It's hard to say whether it will last 5 to 10 years, but it's possible that he can live an extra year or two, Lin Yi said. It depends on your father's condition and the amount of toxins in his body. My father has uremia. Can he detoxify? Fatty Lai was afraid that Lin Yi would ignore him. Seeing Lin Yi asking this question, he quickly took the opportunity to climb up the ladder. If he could get Lin Yi's guidance, he would be so happy that he would go crazy. Yes, it will have some effect. It will be no problem to last another year or half a year, Lin Yi said. Well, can it be cured? Fatty Lai asked quickly. 10 or 20 pills, maybe? I can't say for sure, Lin Yi didn't lie to him. How could uremia be so easy to cure? Only the combination of acupuncture and Chinese medicine could make it possible to cure it. Brother, can you cure my father? I will follow you and work like a slave for you for the rest of my life. I am willing to pay any price. Woohoo! Fatty Lai knelt in front of Lin Yi again. This time, not only did his snot get on Lin Yi's pants, but the hand that had quadrug shit before also tightly grasped Lin Yi's trouser legs. Let go first, Lin Yi thought to himself. He would throw away these pants when he got home and couldn't keep them. Then you can cure me. Fatty Lai was overjoyed after hearing Lin Yi's words. Get up now and go home. Give your old man what you just picked up to eat. He won't die for a while, Lin Yi said helplessly. Let me think about it first. By the way, you seem to have some face. Are you a celebrity? Okay, I'll go back right away. Fatty Lai nodded quickly, then said, I'm quite famous in the business world. Brother, what's the matter? Nothing. I'll set up a company in a few days. Come and support me when it opens, and I'll give you a longevity and detoxification pill." Lin Yi nodded and said, "Are you free? If not, forget it." "Yes. Yes. Yes." Fatty Lai said 3 yeses in a row, for fear that Lin Yi didn't hear clearly and would cross him out of the invitation list. He almost fainted with excitement. "I'll be your follower, don't worry. Don't look at me as fat, but I'm strong, and I'm the best at running errands." "Then go ahead. I'll call you and ask Mr. Liu for it." Lin Yi was really fed up with being pestered by this Fatty Lai, so he could only give him a longevity and detoxification pill. After all, it was still a test for others, so he might as well give it to this fat guy. "Okay." Fatty Lai finally nodded with satisfaction and respectfully escorted Lin Yi to a strangely shabby van. Fatty Lai thought to himself, "So Lin Yi likes this kind of car? I'll get one myself soon, just like him, to show off my ability as a follower." Although Dr. Kang's birthday party was still going on and the guests were all smiling, Dr. Kang felt that the atmosphere was a little off. Seeing Kang Xiaoming standing aside, he remembered the previous incident. After the guests had presented their birthday gifts, Dr. Kang waved to Kang Xiaoming. Kang Xiaoming hurried over. He knew he had gotten into trouble. It was now obvious that Lin Yi was a playboy. He didn't know how Kang Xiaobo knew this person, but Lin Yi's identity was definitely not simple. Judging from the attitudes of Mr. Yan, Liu Xianyi, and Guanzuman at the resort toward Lin Yi was definitely no ordinary person. And his so-called longevity and detoxification pill might actually be real. Perhaps it was a rare treasure from somewhere, but Kang Xiaoming treated it like junk and trampled it to pieces. "Grandpa," Kang Xiaoming approached cautiously, his resentment towards Kang Xiaobo deepening. "Why didn't you tell me earlier that you met such a powerful boss? You made me look so bad. Go find that cleaner and get back that longevity and detoxification pill." He swept away. If Kang Xiaobo could understand this, how could Dr. Kang, at his age, not understand it? He also felt that if the longevity and detoxification pill was real, it would be a shame to throw it away. However, he couldn't let outsiders see it and lose face, so he warned, "Be careful, don't let anyone see it." "Got it, Grandpa." Kang Xiaoming saw that there was still a chance of recovery, so he quickly nodded and went to do as Grandpa instructed. Kang Xiaoming took advantage of everyone's inattention and quickly walked out of the banquet hall. In fact, he was an insignificant clown-like figure, and no one paid any attention to him. After Kang Xiaoming left the banquet hall, he happened to run into the cleaner who had just been cleaning. He hurried over and asked, "Auntie, I have a question for you. Where did you throw the garbage you just swept?" Kang Xiaoming had to be polite to the cleaner at this moment, otherwise he would not do such a thing. "In the trash can outside." But, before the cleaner could finish the word but, Kang Xiaoming turned and ran away. The cleaner shook his head and wanted to remind him that there was a fat man trying to grab the trash bag by the trash can, but Kang Xiaoming was too anxious to hear what he said next. Kang Xiaoming was afraid that the trash in the trash can had been dumped out, so after listening to the cleaner's words, he quickly ran out. When he reached the door of the banquet hall, he saw an open trash bag next to the trash can. Kang Xiaoming was shocked. Could it have been stolen? But then he remembered that there were always scavengers near hotels and resorts who liked to dig through trash cans, pulling out things like drink bottles that could be sold. No one would recognize that broken pill, right? Kang Xiaoming didn't dare to neglect it. He quickly ran over, picked up the trash bag, and began to search inside. This should be it. Kang Xiaoming suddenly pulled out a black object from the trash bag. August guaranteed monthly pass requested. Chapter 383 finally found. A foul odor assaulted Kang Xiaoming's face, nearly causing him to vomit. What the hell is this? Why does it stink so bad? He initially thought it was the garbage bag in his hand, so he quickly tossed it aside and stood up. But even after he stood up, the stench was still strong. He searched around until he realized the stench was coming from the pill in his hand. Why does this pill smell like this? Kang Xiaoming's stomach churned. This is too stinky. Was it like this before? After pondering it for a long time, Kang Xiaoming couldn't recall if it had smelled bad when he stepped on it. He'd been so excited, so preoccupied with mocking Kang Xiaobo, that he hadn't bothered to care whether the pill smelled good or not. Probably, Kang Xiaoming nodded, consoling himself. The color of the shit was incredibly similar to the longevity and detoxification pill. He'd only taken a quick look at it before crushing it, so he couldn't quite remember the exact color. Kang Xiaoming quickly and carefully scooped up the dog poop in his hand, checking to see if anyone was paying attention before cautiously running back to the banquet hall. Upon entering, he was met with a questioning look from his grandfather, Dr. Kang. Kang Xiaoming quickly nodded, signaling that he had found the longevity and detoxification pill. Dr. Kang breathed a sigh of relief. If it truly was a treasure, it would be a waste to have thrown it away. He would definitely call Liu Xianyi that evening to inquire about it and see if such a thing existed. Liu Xianyi had wanted to invite Lin Yi to ride in his car, but seeing that Lin Yi had driven himself, he gave up. Lin Yi returned to Songshan City with Tang Yun, Kang Xiaobo, Xiaofan, and Guan Zuman. He took Tang Yun back to the hospital and Xiaofan home, then took Kang Xiaobo to Guan Zuman's house to discuss matters. Kang Xiaobo had wanted to stay with Xiaofan, fearing she would be upset after seeing Kang Xiaoming. However, Xiaofan heard Lin Yi call Kang Xiaobo about something important, so why would she waste his time? She shook her head at Kang Xiaobo and smiled. Xiaobo, brother Lin Yi wants to talk to you about something serious. Go ahead and leave. I'm fine. I'm feeling much better now. Is everything really okay? Kang Xiaobo was still a little worried. After all, he'd been hurt so deeply by Kang Xiaoming. How could he just say it was okay? Haha, I'm waiting for you to avenge me one day, Xiaofan smiled. I've remembered everything you said today. Okay, then wait for me. I'll definitely do it. Kang Xiaobo clenched his fists. Lin Yi smiled. He was giving Kang Xiaobo a stage to shine, but it depended on Kang Xiaobo's willingness. If he played it safe, even if he became his spokesperson, he'd be nothing more than a lazy overseer. But with his own fighting spirit, that was different. As long as he had the determination, he would work hard and succeed sooner or later. As long as he had confidence and a dream, it would come true. Tang Yin, I won't be going up. Grandpa Guan has already arranged your father's surgery. I can't do anything about a bone problem, but after he's done, I do have some medicine that can help his wounds heal quickly, Lin Yi said to Tang Yin as she was about to get out of the car. I'll bring it to you on Monday during surgery. I don't have it with me today, thank you, Tang Yin nodded, not refusing. She didn't know when it started, but she had gradually become accustomed to Lin Yi's concern and care for her. After Tang Yin got out of the car, Kang Xiaobo finally couldn't help but ask, Boss, are you talking about something similar to the golden wound medicine my second grandfather produces? On the market, only Dr. Kang's golden wound medicine could quickly heal wounds. No wonder Kang Xiaobo was surprised. He hadn't expected Lin Yi to have such a medicine. Haha, it should be similar. I haven't seen what it looks like or what the formula is, so I can't say for sure, but it should be similar, Lin Yi nodded. Kang Xiaobo was stunned. At this moment, he finally understood why Lin Yi was so confident and certain in supporting him and Kang Xiaoming's break with his second grandfather's family. Previously, when Lin Yi said he could make him and his second grandfather equal, Kang Xiaobo didn't quite believe it, but at the time, for the sake of face, he had also made those ambitious statements. Kang Xiaobo was a little nervous, wondering if his ambition would eventually become a joke, but now, he knew it wouldn't. If Lin Yi also had a formula similar to the golden healing medicine, then he would be fully qualified to be on equal footing with his second grandfather. Kang Shenye Pharmaceutical Company only made money from golden healing medicine. Boss, you are amazing. Where did you get the formula? My second grandfather's formula was hidden so well that even my grandfather didn't know it. Kang Xiaobo said this and sighed a little. My grandfather was also stupid. He didn't know where the formula was, and he didn't know to check it. In the end, my second grandfather stole it. I made it myself, Lin Yi shrugged. Kang Xiaobo was about to become his spokesperson, so it didn't matter if he let him know some core secrets. You made it yourself? Kang Xiaobo's eyes widened in shock. Lin Yi could make this kind of prescription himself? How amazing. Okay, it's good that you know, but don't tell anyone. Lin Yi patted Kang Xiaobo on the shoulder. I have some personal reasons of my own, and I don't want to stand out, so to the outside world, this company belongs to you and Grandpa Guan. Don't worry, boss. I won't tell. Kang Xiaobo was immediately moved when he heard that Lin Yi trusted him as a spokesperson, and nodded and said, Xiaofan, and I won't say it. You can say that. Lin Yi sweated. I will solve Xiaofan's leg sooner or later, so it's okay to tell her. Just let a small circle of people know, boss. I found that the wisest decision I made in my life was that I wanted to accompany you to the rooftop to help you fight that day. Kang Xiaobo sighed. If I hadn't been impulsive, you wouldn't have taken care of me like this. Kang Xiaobo still had some self-knowledge. He knew that he was useless. In Lin Yi's eyes, he couldn't help at all. If there was anything that could make Lin Yi look at him with respect, it was that time. But Kang Xiaobo was right. It was because of that impulsive moment that Lin Yi considered him a brother. It's not often someone would stand up for you out of a sense of loyalty on their first day of class after just transferring to the same school. Even though Kang Xiaobo was a bit impulsive, Lin Yi was still deeply moved, seeking guaranteed monthly passes for August. Chapter 384 Go and Call and Ask? With a previous episode of Kang Xiaobo and the accident of Kang Xiaoming crushing the elixir, Dr. Kang's birthday party ended hastily just after noon. Although the atmosphere of the party was good, there was always an indescribable feeling of depression. Whether it was the host or the guests, Dr. Kang never looked at Kang Xiaobo's parents with a good face. Kang Xiaobo's parents were also helpless about this. Although Kang Xiaobo's previous incident had caused a big commotion, Kang Xiaobo's parents also knew that it was not Kang Xiaobo's fault. Kang Xiaobo gave his second grandfather a big gift, a precious elixir. This was a good intention, but Kang Xiaoming did not appreciate it and crushed the elixir without hesitation. When Dr. Kang saw it, he did not stop it. This shows the problem. That is, Dr. Kang has a big difference in closeness and distance between Kang Xiaoming and Kang Xiaobo, one his grandson and the other his cousin. No matter how excessive Kang Xiaoming's behavior was, he was still his grandson, and he could tolerate it. However, Kang Xiaobo hadn't done anything wrong. He just suspected that Kang Xiaobo had used a fake elixir to squeeze his reputation as a miracle doctor, so he condoned Kang Xiaoming's rude behavior. Even if Kang Xiaoming's subsequent words were a bit extreme, it was understandable. It was impossible for a boy not to be impulsive. So Kang Xiaobo's parents also understood, and they were even happier because Kang Xiaobo's good friend seemed to be very powerful. So many bigwigs knew him and were very friendly to him. Then Kang Xiaobo would definitely not suffer if he followed him. So although Kang Xiaobo's parents were met with the cold stares and indifference of Dr. Kang's family, they still felt a little comforted in their hearts. Dr. Kang's family didn't like them either. After the birthday banquet, Kang Xiaobo's parents left, and no one even said hello. It can be seen that Dr. Kang's family was furious about the previous loss of face. If you ask me, what kind of relative is this of yours? After he became rich, it would be fine if he didn't help our family, and we wouldn't mind it. But attending the birthday party and trying to please him, what's the point? Kang's mother was not a member of the Kang family, and she was extremely dissatisfied with what happened today. You'd better stop associating with such relatives. Forget it. If Dad hadn't asked me to come, I wouldn't want to come. Kang's father smiled bitterly. But your son really made my second uncle lose face today. Huh? My son? Then he's not your son. Kang's mother mentioned her son, but couldn't help feeling proud. Look at how loyal my son's friends are. They are not even relatives, but they can speak up for him, and he knows a lot of powerful people. Look at your cousins. What kind of people are they? By the way, why is the girl my son was holding today a little lame? And what Kang Xiaoming said, Kang's father was a little embarrassed. He didn't want to talk about his own family anymore. After all, he was a blood relative of his second uncle, an elder. At the very least, it was his father who went to fight against him, and he couldn't say much. I saw it too. Kang's mother was also a little worried. What Xiaobo said today, could it be that he really likes that girl? It seems that he is deliberately standing up for her. I think so too. Kang's father nodded. What should we do? Not only is this kid in a premature love affair, but he also found a lame girl? I don't know what this kid is thinking. Yeah, why don't we go home and have a good talk with our son? Don't let him be impulsive and be deceived by that girl. Kang's mother became even more worried when she heard it. What? Kang's father snorted helplessly. Your son was deceived? I don't think so. Oh? What do you mean? Kang's mother was slightly stunned. Think about it. Kang Xiaobo is impulsive, but is his good friend also impulsive? I think this incident was probably orchestrated by him, just to help that girl named Xiaofen. Kang's father saw it clearly. This person's family background is probably extraordinary. You see, Liu Xianyi and Guan Zuman both know him, as does the owner of the resort. So, I think he supports Kang Xiaobo and the girl being together. As for why, I can't say right now. It's just a guess. Now that you mention it, I think that's indeed the case after careful consideration. Kang's mother also said with sudden enlightenment. Anyway, Let's go back and ask Xiaobo. In Donghae City, in the Sivu Villa district, in a luxurious villa, the Kang family gathered in the living room. Kang Leke, the divine Dr. Kang, sat in the main seat, scowling as his children and grandchildren stood cautiously in the room. Xiaoming, where is that longevity and detoxification pill? Divine Dr. Kang asked, glancing at Kang Xiaoming. Kang Xiaoming panicked and carefully took out the dog shit he had picked up. He held it in his hands and presented it to Dr. Kang. Grandpa, the longevity and detoxification pill is here. Dr. Kang nodded and picked up the black-brown object in Kang Xiaoming's hand with his hands, ready to take a closer look. However, a foul smell hit him in the face, and Dr. Kang almost vomited. What's that smell? Why is it so smelly, Grandpa? This longevity and detoxification pill smells like this. I was also choked by the smell at that time, Kang Xiaoming explained carefully. Isn't it a scam? Dr. Kang frowned. I don't think that kid is very reliable. Giffen, don't you have a good relationship with Liu Xianai? I think Liu Xianai seems to be very familiar with that kid today. You can go and find out from him. When he said this, Dr. Kang was obviously not very happy, because Liu Xianai came to attend his birthday party, but left halfway. Although he was a member of the Liu family, it also made Dr. Kang lose face. As for Guanzumin, Dr. Kang didn't dare say anything. The fact that they had come was a great honor. He knew full well what kind of miracle doctor he was just a fake one, while the other was the real one. Okay, I'll call and ask. Kang Giffen nodded, took out his phone, and walked aside to make a call. While Kang Giffen was on the phone, no one in the room spoke, quietly awaiting the result. Hello? Brother Xianai? I'm Kang Giffen. Kang Giffen was still somewhat ingratiating himself with Liu Xianai. Much of the Kang family's business in Yanjing relied on the Liu family's influence. Ultimately, Dr. Kang only possessed a magical formula, not a true miracle doctor. These powerful families didn't need to curry favor with him. On the contrary, Dr. Kang's family, in order to develop, curried favor with these powerful families. In the eyes of ordinary people, they were the lofty and mysterious figures of the powerful families. Even purchasing a bottle of golden healing medicine was a difficult feat. But for these powerful families, golden healing medicine was readily available, with no worries of running out of stock. This is also the reason why no one relies on Dr. Kang. If they had someone to rely on, this would not have happened. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 385. Go and see the effect. Oh, it's Brother Giffen. I had something urgent to do today, so I had to leave at the last minute. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Liu Xianai said this, but there was no apology in the slightest. Although Kang Giffen was slightly annoyed, there was nothing he could do. After all, he still relied on Liu Xianai for his military pharmaceutical orders. Haha, it's okay, Kang Giffen said with a nonchalant smile. By the way, Brother Xianai, I want to ask you something. Do you know my cousin's classmate today? Oh, you mean Mr. Lin? Of course I do, Liu Xianai said with a laugh. Oh? His family. Kang Giffen wanted to talk about Lin Yi's background. Haha, that's impressive, isn't it, Brother Giffen? Why are you asking that? Liu Xianai asked calmly. Nothing much. I just want to know about the longevity and detoxification pill he gave me today. It seems like Brother Xianai knows something about it, Kang Giffen asked tentatively. That? Haha, it's a good thing. Liu Xianai roughly guessed what Lin Yi meant, which was to make Dr. Kang's family regret it, so he didn't mind revealing some things that would make them regret it, but as for the real thing, he wouldn't say a word. Good thing? So, Brother Xianai knows about it, Kang Giffen's heart trembled. There was no need for Liu Xianai to lie to him about such a thing. What was Liu Xianai's identity? He was a member of the Liu family. Even if he was familiar with Lin Yi, he couldn't help Lin Yi to deceive people, right? Therefore, Kang Giffen vaguely felt that the longevity and detoxification pill was really a good thing. Of course, although Kang Giffen was right, his guess was still a little biased. If Lin Yi asked Liu Xianai to help tell a lie, Liu Xianai would probably nod and agree without hesitation. Haha, let's not talk about this anymore. I can't say anything about this. Liu Xianyi laughed again. By the way, Brother Giffen, I have to go back and send the old man back to Yanjing. Huh? Brother Xianyi, didn't Mr. Liu come to see Dr. Guan for treatment? Why did you go back? Kang Giffen was stunned. Haha, he's better now. He even asked me to buy him a courtyard house to grow vegetables. Liu Xianyi laughed. He's better now. Kang Giffen was shocked. Didn't Dr. Guan say that only long-term acupuncture can be effective? Haha, how can I joke about the old man's health? If he wasn't better, I wouldn't dare to send him back. Liu Xianyi laughed. Well, let's not talk about it for now. The old man asked me to play with him on the dance mat. Huh? Kang Giffen almost thought there was something wrong with his ears. Playing on the dance mat? With Mr. Liu Zhenhu's health, can he still play on the dance mat? Even walking is a problem, right? However, before Kang Giffen could ask, the call was disconnected. Kang Giffen sighed and walked back with a gloomy face. What happened? Dr. Kang saw that his son's face looked a little abnormal, and his heart tightened, and he asked quickly. I didn't get the reason, but it seems to be a really good thing, Kang Giffen said in a deep voice, but I got an important news. Liu Xianyi's father, Mr. Liu, has miraculously recovered and can even play on the dance mat. What? Dr. Kang's heart almost exploded when he heard his son's words. You said that the 90-year-old man played on the dance mat? Is it true? Dr. Kang had seen Liu Zhenhu's previous situation. He was so sick that he had difficulty walking. But now he can actually play on the dance mat? His brows jumped, and a bad idea flashed through his mind. Could it be related to that longevity and detoxification pill? I guess it is 80% related, otherwise why would that old fox Liu Xianyi suddenly mention this matter? Kang Giffen nodded. That longevity and detoxification pill might really be a good thing, but I don't know where Kang Xiaobo's friend got it from. That guy looks like a rich man's son. It's not surprising that he can get some rare things. But is this longevity and detoxification pill really real? Dr. Kang picked up the dog shit in his hand again with some disbelief and looked at it. It stinks so much, how can it be useful? Grandpa, as the saying goes, good medicine tastes bitter. I think this sentence may be true. Kang Xiaoming had thought of this truth before, so he took it out to show off at this time. He wanted to make amends, so he tried his best to make himself look more important. Well, Xiaoming is right. Good medicine tastes bitter. Dr. Kang nodded in agreement. However, what others say is ultimately just hearsay. Only after you verify it yourself can you see it with your own eyes. Grandpa, what do you mean? Kang Xiaoming asked. However, you cut this longevity and detoxification pill in half and take it to see if it works. Dr. Kang hesitated and said to Kang Xiaoming. Me. Kang Xiaoming thought his grandfather was going to take it himself, but he didn't expect him to take it. Why? You don't want to prolong your life? Dr. Kang asked, looking at Kang Xiaoming. Dr. Kang himself was hesitant to take it. After all, he was old and couldn't withstand the torture, but Kang Xiaoming was fine. It's not me, Kang Xiaoming said, a little timid. This longevity and detoxification pill seemed to be a good thing, but it was just speculation from his family. Now without a definite conclusion, he didn't dare to take it casually. Are you afraid it's poisonous? Dr. Kang snorted. Idiot. No matter how stupid Kang Xiaobo is, he wouldn't send a poisonous pill in public. That's intentional homicide and he's going to be imprisoned for life. Even if this pill isn't a longevity and detoxification pill, it won't have any counter effects. Dad, why don't I try it? Kang Kuipu hesitated and stood up. Kang Xiaoming is his son. How could he watch his son eat such a strange thing? In the Kang family, Grandpa Kang is the most important, and the eldest brother Kang Giffen and the eldest nephew Kang Xiaolong are the most important. On the contrary, he and his son are not taken seriously. This kind of drug testing can only fall on himself. The key problem is that this matter can only be known by the core members of the Kang family, and outsiders cannot be allowed to test it. Otherwise, if the matter gets out, and the dignified Dr. Kang picks up the crush pill and eats it, wouldn't people laugh at him? The Kang family can't afford to lose this person. Dr. Kang can't afford to lose him even more. Therefore, whether this medicine is effective or not, the Kang family can only test it secretly and not let others know. Please vote. Chapter 386 An Unexpected Call. Let me do it. Kang Xiaoming's grandfather's words made sense. He'd been too cautious before. Now, he thought, if Kang Xiaobo wasn't a fool, there was no way he'd send poison. Sending poison would be courting death. If anything happened to Dr. Kang's family, he'd be the first suspect. So, Kang Xiaoming decided to try it himself. It didn't matter if it tasted good, but it wouldn't make him sick. If he let his father eat it, it would surely make his grandfather look down on him again. Kang Xiaobo gritted his teeth and announced his decision. Dr. Kang's words surprised Dr. Kang. He hadn't expected his cowardly grandson to volunteer to try the drug. So, he said happily, "Great. Xiaoming, Grandpa never thought you'd grow up and become sensible. Don't worry, if we figure out this elixir, I'll give you a share of the profits." Kang Xiaoming was overjoyed. If this longevity and detoxification elixir was successful, the profits would be no less than those from the golden medicine. To have a share would be a truly great opportunity. In the third generation of the Kang family, even the outstanding Kang Xiaolong did not have a share. Kang Xiaoming thought that he would become the first, and he was overjoyed. Kang Xiaoming's father, Kang Kipu, was also surprised by his son's courage and boldness. He did not expect that his son's decision could be exchanged for such great benefits and advantages. Even Kang Xiaolong looked at his younger brother with some jealousy. In the Kang family, Kang Xiaoming has always been a cowardly young master, so when he did bad things, everyone felt accustomed to it and it was nothing. Today, he suddenly did something sensible, so it would be surprising. So Dr. Kang gave Kang Xiaoming such a promise in an unexpected way. Kang Xiaoming took the dog shit that looked like a longevity and detoxification pill from Dr. Kang's hand, then put it on the table, cut it with a sharp knife, pinched half of it and raised it up, ready to swallow it. That stinks. Kang Xiaoming put it to his lips, nearly nauseated. Why does it taste like stinky dog shit? Like you said, good medicine tastes bitter, Kang Kipu persuaded him. He was also excited. If his son took this longevity and detoxification pill and it worked, he would get a share of the company, which would make him proud as a father. Kang Xiaoming nodded, gritted his teeth, pinched his nose, closed his eyes, and stuffed half of the dog shit into his mouth. He quickly drank a few sips of water, and finally suppressed the urge to vomit. After a long while, he finally caught his breath and let out a long sigh. "Oh, I finally swallowed it." "Okay, Xiaoming, stay home for a few days and see the effects of this." Dr. Kang nodded and said to Kang Giffen, "Seal the other half of the longevity and detoxification pill. If it works, send it to the laboratory for testing." "Yes," Kang Giffen nodded. After Kang Xiaoming finished eating the dog shit, he felt a churning in his stomach, a nausea that was unbearable. However, he suppressed the urge to vomit and quickly returned to his room, lying on his bed. Kang Xiaoming was fortunate, however, as the half of the dog shit he had consumed happened to still contain some residue from the longevity and detoxification pill, making it not entirely pure dog shit. Lin Yi, of course, was unaware of what had happened at the Kang household. If he had known that Kang Xiaoming had taken the dog shit and taken it home, mistaking it for a longevity and detoxification pill and swallowed half of it, he would have laughed himself to death. At Guanzuman's house, Lin Yi outlined the pharmaceutical company's situation to Kang Xiaobo. While Kang Xiaobo was excited, he was also concerned. After all, he had no experience in business management. While he didn't want to pass up this opportunity, he wasn't stupid and understood the consequences of messing around. "Boss, I know nothing about business operations and management. You need to give me some time to learn." Kang Xiaobo's excitement wore off, but he regained his composure. He was easily impulsive, but even after that, he could still calmly consider things. In the rooftop fight and Xiaofen's incident, Kang Xiaobo had previously shown an impulsive character, but later he was able to calm down and consider the pros and cons. Kang Xiaobo's words made Lin Yi a little embarrassed. Guanzuman was a scholar and naturally had no experience in business, let alone Lin Yi. It was okay for him to assassinate, but managing a business was out of the question. What Kang Xiaobo said was not unreasonable. He had no relevant experience. At this moment, Lin Yi realized that he had thought too simply about some things. You can't start a company just by having a prescription in hand. However, since he was not a trustworthy person, Lin Yi did not want him to participate in the operation of the company at will. First of all, Lin Yi was a secretive person. Lin Yi did not want to be exposed to the public and let everyone know that the prescription came from his hand. After all, Lin Yi was still on a mission and should not be distracted by other things. "Xia, my idea is to find a trustworthy professional manager, and on my side, I will mainly be an honorary vice president," or hold the position of director of the R&D department, and just need to cooperate with publicity, Guan Zuman suggested. As for the company's affairs, Xiaobo and Xingxin can be directors of the company, only participating in decision-making, not in management. This idea is not bad. The key is to find a trustworthy operator. Lin Yi nodded, but this person is not so easy to find. There is no rush for this. Guan Zuman shook his head. I'll ask someone else. The matter was temporarily shelved. Lin Yi drove Kang Xiaobo out of Guan Zuman's villa. He originally wanted to send him home directly, but Kang Xiaobo said he wanted to go to the bookstore to buy some books on business management. Although it seemed a bit like cramming, Lin Yi was very relieved that Kang Xiaobo had this idea. He was most afraid that he would not make progress. As long as he was willing to work hard, it would be fine. Lin Yi sent Kang Xiaobo to the bookstore, but didn't accompany him upstairs. He went straight back to Chu Mengyao's villa. He had been gone for 2 days. I wonder if the eldest lady would be resentful? Although he had previously agreed with her that he would accompany Kang Xiaobo to his second grandfather's birthday party, Chu Mengyao didn't say anything, but who knows if that chick Chen Yushu tried to sow discord? When he was almost home, Lin Yi's phone rang. He thought it was Kang Xiaobo or Tang Yun calling, but when Lin Yi saw the caller ID on his phone, he couldn't help but be stunned. Because the person calling was actually Wang Zinayan. Dear readers, do you still have the guaranteed monthly ticket? Thank you. Chapter 387 Wang Zinayan's Family Affairs. Lin Yi was slightly taken aback. Wasn't Wang Zinayan in Yanjing City handling funeral matters? Why was she calling him? Had she already returned? No way, it's only been a few days? Not even a week. Although Lin Yi was a little confused, he still answered the phone. Hello, hello, but as soon as Lin Yi answered, the call was disconnected. What could this mean? Was it a wrong number? Or was there something else going on? Lin Yi hesitated, but still called back. After all, it was Wang Zinayan's first time calling him, and he couldn't just ignore her. Sorry, the number you dialed is turned off or out of service. Please try again later. The automatic notification chime sounded, informing Lin Yi that the other party's phone was turned off. Lin Yi frowned. Could it be that Wang Zinayan was about to call him when her phone ran out of battery? Lin Yi shook his head and put the phone in his pocket. Since he couldn't reach her, Lin Yi was at his wit's end. Although he was a little worried, he knew they had only just met by chance, and Wang Zinayan was far away in Yanjing. A distant water couldn't help a nearby fire. Lin Yi had no idea where she was. In a detached mansion in Yanjing City, a ferocious-looking man snatched a mobile phone from Wang Zinayan's hand, slammed it to the ground, and stomped on it a few times, cursing, "Stinky girl, do you want to call someone? I didn't expect that you still have a mobile phone on you. It's a good thing that I didn't dare to go far and kept staring at you, otherwise it would be a big trouble." Wang Zinayan silently glanced at the broken shell of the mobile phone, and raised her head coldly. "I am your cousin, and you treat me like this, cousin? Humph, speak out the property of our Xiao family first." The man snorted coldly. "According to Grandpa's will, you have been married to someone else. Before the other party comes to offer the betrothal gift, don't think about leaving this room." After that, the man closed the door of the room with a bang, and then there was the sound of the door being locked. Wang Zinayan sighed helplessly. If she had known the Xiao family's situation was so dire, she would never have returned. Now, not only were her parents held under house arrest by these people, but she, too, was inexplicably engaged to a stranger because of her grandfather's suicide note. Upon arriving at the Xiao residence, Wang Zinayan realized that the Xiao family wasn't as glamorous as it appeared. Although her two uncles were fighting over the family fortune, the Xiao family had long since become brittle. Her grandfather had Alzheimer's disease, and in his final years, he had signed several feudal contracts that had caused the company to lose a lot of money and incur a mountain of debt. Even if the company were sold now, it would only be enough to pay off the debts. The two uncles, who had been fighting over the family fortune, surprisingly united after finding out the full amount. Now they couldn't even pay off the debts, so what was the point of fighting over the family fortune? What was there to fight over? All that was left were a few properties purchased by the old man during his lifetime. With so many properties you could count on your fingers, there was no point in fighting over them. A roughly equal division would suffice. In the eyes of ordinary people, these villas and properties are already worth a fortune. Just relying on the rent, they can live a comfortable life for the rest of their lives. However, For the two Zhao brothers who are used to lavish and extravagant life, it is unbearable. So, they set their sights on their sister Zhao Qinlan, Wang Zinayan's mother, who had been away from home for many years. Their reason is simple and shameless. That is, when Zhao Qinlan ran away from home and eloped with Wang Zinayan's father Wang Zubin, Mr. Zhao gave them 50,000 yuan as travel expenses. And this 50,000 yuan travel expenses were said to be capital investment for Wang Zubin to start a company, and now he is asked to pay it back with interest. Of course, in addition to Mr. Zhao's will, whose authenticity is unknown, the Zhao brothers also have an IOU in their hands, which was written by Zhao Qinlan. Although Old Master Zhao, considering Zhao Qinlan his daughter, had given her 50,000 yuan for travel expenses even after she broke with the family and eloped with Wang Zubin, he still considered her his daughter and couldn't let her suffer any harm. However, Zhao Qinlan, impulsive and determined to not take the Zhao family's money for nothing, wrote Old Master Zhao an IOU, promising to return the principal and interest when she became successful. Old Master Zhao, not expecting his daughter to pay him back, simply laughed it off and sent his eldest son, Zhao Ji, to dispose of the IOU. However, Zhao Ji, with a cautious eye, hid it. After Old Master Zhao's death, the IOU became evidence that the Zhao brothers were blackmailing their sister, Zhao Qinlan. With the IOU and Old Master Zhao's will, Zhao Qinlan was furious, but she could do nothing. Who had written the IOU? Of course, this wasn't the most infuriating thing. The most infuriating thing was that Mr. Zhao's will actually found a husband for Wang Zinayan. Isn't it a bit too early for a girl who is only in her third year of high school to get engaged? The Zhao brothers were very arrogant, saying that if Zhao Qinlan didn't hand over 20% of their company's shares, they would meet in court and let outsiders see that after Mr. Zhao's death, his daughter not only ignored his body, but also wanted to embezzle the brothers' property. God in God our conscience, who is trying to embezzle whose property? Although Zhao Qinlan resolutely broke with her family for love, she was still a filial person after all, otherwise she wouldn't have immediately put down her work to deal with Mr. Zhao's funeral. Of course, the Zhao family was in chaos, and Lin Yi didn't know it. But even if he knew, he didn't know how to intervene. This kind of family affairs is the most difficult to resolve. When Lin Yi returned to the villa, he saw Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu digging in the yard. Each holding a small shovel, they were digging with great enthusiasm. Chen Yashu's face was covered in streaks of dirt. Chu Mengyao was better, her clothes were a little dusty, and her face wasn't as badly covered as Zhaoshu's. Lin Yi parked the car in the villa yard and got out, looking at Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu with some confusion. Yao, Zhaoshu, what are you doing? Oh? Brother Arrow, you're back? We're digging for treasure. Come help Sister Yao and me. We're exhausted. Chen Yashu waved happily at Lin Yi's return. Zhaoshu, what did you ask him to do? Chu Mengyao glared at her and lowered her voice. What if he sees us? Won't you be embarrassed, Sister Yao? We both have the key anyway. Even if he digs it out, the box has a lock on it, right? Chen Yashu said to Chu Mengyao, shaking the key in her hand. Chapter 388 Treasure Hunt in the Courtyard. Yet, Chu Mengyao couldn't help but be moved after hearing what Chen Yashu said. Indeed, the key was in Zhaoshu's hands, and even if Lin Yi dug out the treasure chest, he couldn't open it. Why don't we let him try it, and we can take a break? I'm a little tired, how about you? I'm a little tired too, so let Brother Arrow try. If Chen Yashu wasn't tired before, she wouldn't be so happy to see him come back, and so anxious to summon him to help. Well, then you call him. Chu Mengyao nodded. We don't know when we will find it if we keep digging like this. That's right. We don't know where it is buried. The map I drew when I was a child is completely useless. Chen Yashu wiped the sweat from his forehead with his hand, and then several more black mud marks appeared. You still say that? Look at this broken map you drew. It's a miracle that you can find it. Chu Mengyao raised the map in her hand and said, at the beginning, you said there would be no problem. I can find it, but I can't find it. Okay, Sister Yao, don't talk about me. I was only 8 or 9 years old at that time. It's very good that I can draw this kind of map. Chen Yashu took the treasure map embarrassedly, and then went to pull Chu Mengyao's arm. Don't touch me. Chu Mengyao found that her arm was scratched by Chen Yashu with several mud marks. Do you have something to talk to me about? Lin Yi locked the car door and walked over. He saw Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu whispering to each other, and he didn't know what they were talking about. Lin Yi, help us dig for treasure. Chu Mengyao handed the Luoyuan shovel in her hand to Lin Yi. Dig for treasure. Lin Yi widened his eyes and rubbed his ears, wondering if there was something wrong with his hearing. Where do we dig for treasure? Here. Chen Yushu pointed to the ground in the courtyard. In the courtyard of the villa, Lin Yi was stunned. Are you kidding? How could there be treasure in the courtyard of this villa? Have you two watched too many movies? This villa was built only about 10 years ago. How could there be treasure? Of course there's. It was us. Chen Yushu was about to say we buried it, but it was stopped by Chu Mengyao. If we say there's, it must be there. Chu Mengyao glared at Chen Yushu. She couldn't tell Lin Yi that the treasure was buried by them. Otherwise, what if Lin Yi dug it out of curiosity and took a peek? Okay, Lin Yi nodded, seeing the two girls' odd looks. After all, if the young lady told him to dig, he could just dig. It wouldn't take much effort. Where do we dig? Right here in the yard. Dig as you see fit. Chu Mengyao held out a Luoyuan shovel, along with some simple pickaxes and ropes. Brother Arrow, here's another treasure map. Chen Yushu handed Lin Yi the one she'd drawn as a child. Take a look at it for reference. Okay. Lin Yi took the map, nodded, and prepared to get to work. Chu Mengyao gave Chen Yushu a helpless look and pulled her a few steps away. Are you stupid? How could you give that treasure map to Lin Yi? Oh, it's okay. I'm the one who's embarrassed anyway. I drew it, Chen Yushu said nonchalantly. I thought having a map would make it easier for him to find it. Otherwise, he would have no idea. It's embarrassing for you, yes, but when you gave Lin Yi a treasure map, didn't you tell him that the treasure was hidden by us? Chu Mengyao was a little helpless. What if he sees what's inside? Can you bear to lose this person? I can you? Chen Yushu nodded. Chu Mengyao wanted to stomp Chen Yushu to death. Angrily said, you can, but I can't. It's okay, Sister Yao. Don't forget we have the key. Chen Yushu shook the key in her hand. Okay, Chu Mengyao had no choice but to do this. After giving away the treasure map, she couldn't ask for it back, could she? Sister Yao, don't overthink it. Brother Arrow isn't the type to pry into other people's privacy. If he sees a lock, he definitely won't open it, Chen Yushu comforted. Chu Mengyao nodded. Indeed, it seemed that Lin Yi wasn't the type to actively pry into other people's privacy. She and Xiaoshu lived upstairs, but Lin Yi had never been there once. Leaving the mighty general there seemed a bit unnecessary. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu returned to the villa to rest. They had been digging for a long time. They had dug all afternoon yesterday, had started digging as soon as Lin Yi left, and had dug all day today. They were exhausted. Both were covered in sweat and dirt. Chen Yushu was in a worse state, with mud stains all over her face. So, the first thing they did was rush to the bathroom in the second-floor bedroom to take a shower and change clothes. After the two left, Lin Yi took the treasure map that Chen Yushu had given him and took a look. He almost fell to the ground. Is this also a map? Is there anyone more stupid than this? There was a dog drawn on the map. Judging from its appearance, it should be a smaller version of General Mighty, perhaps the dog's younger self? Next to General Mighty was a sandbag, and opposite the sandbag were two school bags. The treasure was located in the middle of these three things. The triangulation was quite accurate, but where could Lin Yi find these things now? General Mighty was alive and could move. The sandbag had been thrown away a long time ago, and these two school bags should belong to Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, right? They might have been broken and lost. Lin Yi was speechless. Only Chen Yushu could draw this treasure map. It was amazing. No wonder the two of them hadn't dug up anything even with the map. The map was the same as if there was nothing. The eldest lady had really assigned herself a difficult task. Lin Yi frowned as he looked at the treasure map and didn't act immediately. Lin Yi didn't have the time to turn over every inch of the courtyard. He had to come up with a shortcut. Lin Yi dropped the Luoyuan shovel in his hand. He didn't know where these two girls got such a rare thing. Did they watch too many TV dramas? This wasn't a tomb raiding trip, so why did they bother to get a Luoyuan shovel? A shovel would be enough to dig this oil in their own yard. Of course, Lin Yi didn't know that this Luoyuan shovel was obtained by Uncle Fu with great effort yesterday. The eldest lady called him and asked for a Luoyuan shovel. Uncle Fu asked her what she was doing, and she said she was digging for treasure. Uncle Fu didn't dare to ask more. What if it involved some secrets? So he quickly made an effort to find a relationship and finally got such a Luoyuan shovel. Lin Yi turned and walked into the villa, and saw the mighty general still sitting stupidly at the stairs, strictly and faithfully carrying out Chu Mengyao's orders. Chapter 389. Then why are you still watching? You, come here, Lin Yi gestured to General Weiwu. It was unclear if General Weiwu could understand, as Lin Yi's gestures were usually understood only by properly trained hunting dogs. However, General Weiwu seemed quite intelligent and professionally trained. At Lin Yi's gesture, he came running over. Although General Weiwu was afraid of Lin Yi, he didn't dare show it, feigning only joy and happiness. He felt as if Lin Yi could slaughter him at any moment. Lin Yi led General Weiwu to the courtyard. Without saying anything, he placed the treasure map Chen Yushu had drawn in front of General Weiwu, pointed at it, and sneered. General Weiwu felt a chill run down his spine, his fur standing on end. The feeling of being slaughtered was even more intense. However, General Weiwu didn't dare to flee. He was certain that if he ran, Lin Yi would be 100% sure to catch up with him, and his fate would be even more tragic. General Weiwu trembled nervously at the treasure map in Lin Yi's hand. It struck him as familiar, and he roughly grasped Lin Yi's intentions. He had to admit, this dog was quite intelligent. Seeing General Weiwu understood his intentions, Lin Yi said nothing more, and sat there playing with his Luoyong shovel. General Weiwu was sweating profusely, fearing that Lin Yi might displease him and chop him in the head with a single blow. He quickly stood up and began searching the courtyard. Of course, to avoid misunderstanding Lin Yi, he didn't dare move too fast. What if Lin Yi misunderstood him as running away? General Weiwu's actions astonished Lin Yi. This dog was no ordinary dog. He actually understood what he meant. He even understood his threats. Could he have traveled through time? However, General Weiwu quickly stopped at a spot, dug into the soil with his paws, and called out to Lin Yi. Lin Yi nodded. He had only been trying to give it a try, but he hadn't expected General Weiwu to be so capable and find it so quickly. Lin Yi started digging with a Luoyong shovel in his hand. Not long after, a crisping sound was heard. Lin Yi was a little surprised. He didn't expect to find it so easily. He nodded to the mighty general with satisfaction, indicating that it could go back. Lin Yi dug out the treasure chest. The treasure chest was already rusty. Although it can be seen that it is a good iron box, it has been corroded for too many years. There is also a small lock on it, but it has been corroded and broken, making it useless. When was it buried? Could it be buried by Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu? Thinking about the treasure map, it is possible. Lin Yi opened the treasure chest speechlessly. If there was a lock on the treasure chest, Lin Yi would naturally not destroy the lock, but now the small lock was broken. Lin Yi naturally opened the treasure chest. Inside the treasure chest was an oil paper package. While the exterior was rusted and even the small lock had corroded and broken, the interior was remarkably well made, with waterproofing and rubber padding. After years, it had only become slightly damp, and the oil paper inside showed no signs of decay. It seemed this treasure chest must have been expensive, but for the two young ladies, it was nothing. Lin Yi pulled the oil paper package out and casually opened it, only to discover it was tightly wrapped in layers of oil paper and plastic sheeting. Unwrapping the outer packaging revealed two small, box-like items. Lin Yi was surprised. Was this the supposed treasure? Just as he was about to open one of the small sachets, he heard a scream from behind him, so startled that he almost dropped the sachet. Lin Yi turned around and saw Chu Mengyao running towards him, wrapped in a bath towel. The hem of the towel fluttered in the wind, revealing a pair of long, smooth, jade-like legs. Although the view is not very clear, Lin Yi couldn't help but swallow. Chu Mengyao was tall and well-proportioned. While not as voluptuous as Chen Yushu, her figure was still one of a kind. Lin Yi didn't actively peek at the young lady, but since it was right in front of him, it wouldn't hurt to take a look. Chu Mengyao suddenly realized where Lin Yi's gaze was going and her face flushed. She snatched the sachet from Lin Yi's hand and cursed angrily. Shameless. She turned around and hurried back to the villa, but this time she didn't dare run. Although she walked quickly, she moved slowly and in small steps. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. It was over. He had left a bad impression on the young lady. But, in all honesty, she had run too fast and let him see her. She hadn't taken the initiative to look. Dejected, he returned to the living room and found Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu already upstairs. Lin Yi was speechless. How could he have done something so bad with good intentions? He'd helped them dig for treasure, and they called him shameless. Peeping wasn't easy. A while later, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu came downstairs, already dressed in snug pajamas, preventing Lin Yi from seeing anything. But Lin Yi felt a little wronged. Sometimes, Chu Mengyao even wore shorts, revealing even more. He'd only felt a little aroused by the hazy feeling, he hadn't actually seen anything. Seeing Chu Mengyao's critical look, Lin Yi quickly sat down, feigning indifference, and prepared to watch TV. Ahem, Chu Mengyao, seeing this guy hadn't realized what she'd done, became even more infuriated. She coughed twice and glared at Lin Yi. "It's Missy, what's up?" Lin Yi pretended to have just seen Chu Mengyao come downstairs, raised his head, and looked at her cautiously. "There's nothing you can do. It's your fault for being quick-eyed and peeking at others. Brother Arrow, Sister Yao is going to criticize you, you better be careful." Chen Yashu winked at Lin Yi. However, the originally serious atmosphere was destroyed by Chen Yashu's interference. Chu Mengyao was about to explode. Chen Yashu was here to disrupt the situation. This girl probably liked Lin Yi and wanted to help him out. However, Lin Yi was too shameless. It would not do if she didn't warn him. So, Chu Mengyao pretended not to hear what Chen Yashu said, and stared at Lin Yi seriously. "Lin Yi, do you know what you should do as a follower?" "Well, I know. Don't look at things you shouldn't look at," Lin Yi nodded. "Then why are you still looking?" Chu Mengyao snorted, thinking, "You knew it, but you still looked. You did it on purpose, right?" Chapter 390 Previous Wishes. "But I saw it by accident." "It's not my fault," Lin Yi said, feeling a little aggrieved. "How could you be blamed for this? Accidental? Are you kidding?" Chu Mengyao's eyes widened. "The box has a padlock on it. How could you have seen it without unlocking it, huh?" Lin Yi's eyes widened as well, staring at Chu Mengyao. "Box? You mean a box? If it's not a box, then what do you think it is?" Chu Mengyao was very upset by Lin Yi's pretense. "I thought you were talking about seeing your thigh," Lin Yi said with a sweat dripping from his face. "Thigh?" Chu Mengyao blushed. "Don't change the subject. That was just an accident. I'm talking about why you broke a lock on the box. Don't you know that peeping into someone's privacy is immoral? If it were anyone else, Chu Mengyao might have wondered if the lock had been broken. But for Lin Yi, having seen how easily he had opened the iron fence of the sundry room in the backyard of the villa and rescued Chen Yashu, breaking a small padlock was a piece of cake for him. "It's not the thigh? It's good that it's not." Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that Chu Mengyao did not pursue the previous matter, which made Lin Yi's heart relax immediately. As for the so-called lock on the box she mentioned, Lin Yi did not take it to heart. "The lock on the box was not destroyed by me. The lock was broken due to years of corrosion, and the box can be opened directly." "Really?" Chu Mengyao was stunned after hearing Lin Yi's explanation. "If you really don't believe it, go and see for yourself," Lin Yi said with a wry smile. Chu Mengyao was panicked after hearing Lin Yi's explanation, because Lin Yi had no reason to lie to her. After all, for such things, as long as he went out and took a look, he would know the result. Before Chu Mengyao could say anything, Chen Yashu had already run out. A short while later, she returned, holding a small, broken padlock. She said to Chu Mengyao, "Sister Yao, look, the padlock is corroded. It wasn't Brother Arrow who did it. I told you before, Brother Arrow isn't that kind of person." "Xiaoshu. Whose group are you with?" Chu Mengyao bristled at Chen Yashu's words. "You found it, so you wouldn't hide it and destroy the evidence." "Oh? Then I'll throw it away now," Chen Yashu asked weakly. Chu Mengyao was furious. As soon as she said this, she noticed Lin Yi was still nearby, and her face flushed. "I was just saying it casually. Let's go upstairs." Okay," Chen Yashu nodded, chuckled at Lin Yi, and went upstairs with Chu Mengyao again. Lin Yi was confused. Was the denunciation meeting over just like that? Was the young lady going to stop bothering him? Lin Yi hadn't expected the whole thing to be so easily covered up. It was truly surprising. "Xiaoshu, you've embarrassed me so much. You brain-dead girl, tell me, were you helping Lin Yi on purpose?" Chu Mengyao was furious. After all this trouble, she was now the one to blame. She wanted to scold Lin Yi, but she couldn't open her mouth. "No, I was just telling the truth," Chen Yashu said innocently. "Sister Yao, do you want me to lie? When we were little, didn't you always teach me that lying is bad?" Chu Mengyao heard Chen Yashu change the subject and waved her hand helplessly. "It's okay, Go upstairs, okay? I still want to see what wishes I wrote when I was little. I've forgotten everything." Chen Yushu danced with joy and quickly ran upstairs. "Which of these 2 treasure bags is yours?" Chu Mengyao looked at the 2 treasure bags in her hand, a little confused about which one was whose. It was too long ago, otherwise she would not be able to remember where she buried them. "I don't know. Let's each open one and take a look. They were written a long time ago anyway, so it's a good opportunity to see each other's wishes," Chen Yushu said. "Okay then." Chu Mengyao hesitated for a moment, but finally nodded. Although she was a little reluctant to let Chen Yushu discover her secret, she thought this girl was not very reliable. If she knew about it, she might tell Lin Yi about it right after. That would be really embarrassing for her. But when she thought about it, it was a long time ago, and she had forgotten what wish she had written at that time. Even if Lin Yi knew about it, it was just a fantasy from her childhood, so it didn't matter. So, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu each took a brocade bag and started to open it. The brocade bag was sewn together with fine thread. Thinking about it, the 2 of them were very careful at the time, but now, they didn't have the leisure to open it bit by bit. Chen Yushu, who couldn't wait any longer, took the scissors and cut the fine thread on it, opening the brocade bag. "I'll open it first and see who this is from," Chen Yushu smiled, unfolding the wish note inside. The note was a bit yellowed, and the handwriting was old, but it was still clear. "My wish is to live with Xiaoshu for the rest of my life, forever happy." This wish note was obviously written by Chu Mengyao. Chu Mengyao listened in amazement as Chen Yushu read the contents. She had never thought that she and Xiaoshu had been so close when they were little. "Sister Yao, I'm so touched." Although Chen Yushu was carefree, she couldn't help but be moved when she read the contents of the note. Her eyes reddened and she was about to cry. "Now you realize how good I was to you." Chu Mengyao took the scissors and opened the lucky bag in her hand. Needless to say, this lucky bag was Chen Yushu's. "My wish is to marry Sister Yao and be with her forever." Chu Mengyao's eyes widened after reading the contents of the note. Chen Yushu wanted to marry her? Could it be that she has a problem in her heart and has homosexual tendencies? Chen Yushu was also stunned. She didn't expect that her wish would be so powerful. "Sister Yao? Could it be that we were a lesbian couple at that time? Otherwise, why are the wishes written almost the same?" "Lily, you?" Chu Mengyao said speechlessly. "What do you mean almost the same?" "Far from it. If it is a lesbian, you are the one, not me. What I wrote is to live with you, sisters can live together. And look at what you wrote, you want to marry me, you have a problem, huh? No way." Chen Yushu thought about it carefully, and it was indeed the case. Did she really have any abnormal tendencies in the past? But she didn't remember that she didn't like men. It seems that she likes it. When Brother Arrow kissed her and touched her breasts, she felt heartbeat. Chapter 391. Don't forget to record. Chen Yushu was blushing as she was thinking, but was interrupted by Chu Mengyao. "Are you thinking about something unhealthy again?" No. Chen Yushu was hot on the heartstrings and shook her head repeatedly. "Why are you blushing?" Chu Mengyao didn't quite believe it. "I just feel that my previous wishes are a little difficult to achieve, but I've decided, I want to change my wish," Chen Yushu said. "I decided to marry the same man with Sister Yao, so that we can live together forever." Chu Mengyao broke out in a cold sweat. "Why do you still remember this wish?" Near dusk, an annoying visitor came to the villa. Lin Yi didn't expect that and Xuanyuan would have the guts to come again. Wasn't he beaten enough last time? However, seeing his smiling face, Lin Yi almost thought that this guy had been beaten and lost his memory. "Brother Lin, I'm so sorry for last time. I didn't expect a meal to end so unpleasantly. It was all because of my impulsiveness. I haven't been back to Songshan City in several years and I don't know the situation here. Forget about what happened last time. Are you free tonight? Several of my brothers admire your name and are ready to have a few drinks with you, Brother Lin," and Xuanyuan said to Lin Yi with a smile. Lin Yi gave Xuanyuan a strange look. Could it be that this kid suffered a loss last time and is looking for revenge this time? This guy is really impatient. He came to find trouble so soon? Lin Yi turned to look at Chu Mengyao, asking her what she meant. Chu Mengyao naturally guessed that and Xuanyuan had no good intentions. If this guy didn't have amnesia, he would not have forgotten that he was beaten up by Lin Yi not long ago. The band-aid on his forehead could prove it. "Brother Xuanyuan, is there something wrong with you?" Chen Yushu also looked at Jianwen in surprise. A few black lines appeared on Jianwen's forehead. Xiaoshu, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Nothing. I think you want to be tortured. Chen Yushu didn't care about Jianwen's face, and there was no need to give him face. Although Jianwen was a little annoyed with Chen Yushu, he didn't dare to say anything. On the one hand, he was concerned about his image in front of Chu Mengyao, and on the other hand, he really couldn't afford to offend this little girl. Sister Yao, I want to thank my savior today. Do you mind lending me your bodyguard? Jianwen looked at Chu Mengyao with a smile. He deliberately emphasized the word bodyguard, meaning that he already knew the fact that Lin Yi was his bodyguard. Chu Mengyao frowned, but the fact that Lin Yi was hired by Daddy was no secret. Many people in the group knew about it. If Jianwen wanted to find out, he couldn't hide it from him. So, after hearing that he'd already spoken out, she decided not to bother with Lin Yi. It's nighttime now, what he wants to do is none of my business. Chu Mengyao still felt a bit resentful. The afternoon's events had left her fuming, but she couldn't vent them. So, seeing Jianwen picking on Lin Yi, she was naturally happy to give him some trouble. While the outcome was predictable, with Jianwen getting chastised again, Chu Mengyao simply didn't want Lin Yi to be so comfortable. Having him busy herself would help ease her own resentment. Haha, brother Lin, your boss has agreed. How about giving him some face? Jianwen smiled at Lin Yi. Alright, then, Lin Yi nodded. Since Chu Mengyao had said so, he'd reluctantly go and give this guy another rap. Even if he was being a shield, he had to be prepared. He couldn't just take his salary for nothing, right? Then let's go. Mr. Lin, please. Jianwen was overjoyed upon hearing Lin Yi's agreement. Chu Mengyao and Lin Yi's guesses were not wrong. He is indeed here to seek revenge today. Last time, he was tricked by Lin Yi, and he couldn't say anything about his grievances, which made Jianwen very angry, especially since the one who beat him was Li Chihu, who had to cooperate, so he couldn't vent his anger. So if Jianwen doesn't teach Lin Yi a lesson, does he really think he is easy to bully? Of course, Jianwen can't deal with Lin Yi blatantly. After all, he invited Lin Yi to dinner with Chu Mengyao in broad daylight. He can't be too obvious, otherwise Chu Mengyao will definitely think he is petty. Jianwen's idea is, since Lin Yi, you have tricked me once, then I will trick you once too, so that you can't say anything about your grievances. Lin Yi stood up and followed Jianwen out of the villa. When he reached the door, he heard Chen Yushu calling him from behind. Brother Arrow, record the video, don't forget to record it. Lin Yi nodded with a wry smile, and Jianwen, who was walking in front, almost stumbled and fell to the ground after hearing this. Didn't he get recorded by Lin Yi last time? Did Chu Mengyao see it too? Damn, that was a big embarrassment. No wonder Chu Mengyao looked at the band-aid on her forehead with a strange look in her eyes today. It turned out that she already knew. This guy Lin Yi, he must be punished this time. Humph, but this time, he is the one who makes a fool of himself. Did Chen Yushu want to record the video? Okay, I will fulfill his wish and record it and show it to her. At this thought, Jianwen felt a little more at ease. A smile broke out on his face, and he pretended not to understand. Don't worry, Sister Xiaoshu. I'll find a professional videographer to record the drinking contest. Chen Yushu didn't say anything, just frowned. After Lin Yi and Jianwen left the villa, she asked, Sister Yao, this time? Jianwen seemed so confident, who knows? He looked so confident last time. Chu Mengyao curled her lips. Compared to Lin Yi, she disliked Jianwen even more. That's right. I hope Brother Arrow can surprise us again this time. I want to see how Jianwen gets into trouble this time. Chen Yushu nodded. Lin Yi roughly understood Jianwen's intentions from his words. A drinking contest? Was he trying to get him drunk and cause some trouble? But getting himself drunk? Is that even possible? Lin Yi smiled faintly and followed Jianwen. Lin, we won't be home until we're drunk today, so why not drive? Otherwise, we won't be able to drive back. Jianwen was afraid that if Lin Yi drove, he wouldn't drink so much, and his plan would be ruined. Okay, then I'll take your car. Lin Yi didn't mind. If he didn't drive, he could take a taxi back. Okay, I found a driver specially. I didn't even drive the sports car today. Jianwen was overjoyed when he heard Lin Yi agreed. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, It means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 392, Not Returning Until Drunk. Last time, we didn't have a good time. We made a few small mistakes. This time, we must have a blast and not leave until we're drunk, and Xuanyuan said, pointing to a black Rolls Royce. Please get in. Lin Yi nodded and got in. After Xuanyuan got in, the car slowly started. It seemed that Xuanyuan had already booked a hotel and was just waiting for Lin Yi's approval. This time, the venue was still the Starlight Brilliant Hotel. It seemed that Xuanyuan would rise again wherever he fell. The private room was still the same one as last time, but there were a few more people. Besides Su Tezao, there was also the feminine-looking man from before. Beside him was a fat man who looked like Maitreya Buddha. Upon seeing Xuanyuan enter, all three stood up, clearly following his lead. Mr. Lin, you're here. Su Tezao walked over enthusiastically and shook Lin Yi's hand, but a hint of resentment flashed in his eyes. He was not going to just swallow the beating he and Xuanyuan had received. Haha, Brother Su, what happened to your forehead? Huh? I saw brother and also had a band-aid on his head just now. Did you two play the HUD-to-HUD game and bump into each other? Lin Yi and Chen Yashu have been together for a long time, and the way they speak is a bit like Chen Yashu. After saying this, he felt a little ashamed. His imagination was really rich. He could imagine that the two of them bent over, poured all their strength into each other, and bumped into each other face to face. After hearing this, Su Tezao broke out in a sweat and felt even more unhappy. Who is the idiot who bumped each other with their heads? Unless there is water in his head. Why is there a band-aid on his head? Don't you know what's going on? However, today was to trick Lin Yi into drinking, not the time to get angry, so Su Tezao could only suppress his anger and said with a smile, I accidentally bumped into the door. Haha, come on, let's not talk about this. Mr. Lin, please take a seat. I'll introduce you to two brothers. Lin Yi nodded. After taking a seat, Su Tezao began to introduce the feminine man and the fat Maitreya Buddha. The feminine man was called Yang Ganglao, and the fat Maitreya Buddha was called Su Tewei. Yang Ganglao's family was in the foreign trade business, and Su Tewei was Su Tezao's cousin. I'm very happy to meet Mr. Lin today, Su Tewei said. I heard that you are Brother Xuanyuan's savior. I am older than you, so I will call you Brother Lin. Brother Lin, how about we get drunk today? Okay, Lin Yi nodded. Huh? Su Tewei was stunned. According to Xuanyuan and Su Tewei's plan, Lin Yi wouldn't be easily fooled and wouldn't leave until he was drunk. After all, who wouldn't leave until they were drunk with their enemies? So Su Tewei had devised a lot of persuasive speeches to persuade Lin Yi, with Xuanyuan and Yang Ganglao also offering advice. Yang Ganglao was the Su family's younger generation's military advisor, a man of good sense and a wicked mind. Today's plan was his own. After some planning, they decided to set up a drinking party to trip up Lin Yi. Ideally, they'd send him to the hospital. If that wasn't possible, they'd still have to arrange for him to get drunk and record some shows. However, this was all considered a conspiracy, not an overt attack. So, even if Chu Mengyao found out, she wouldn't say anything, and Xuanyuan was confident. But Lin Yi's reaction surprised them all. After Su Tewei said a word, Lin Yi agreed without hesitation, leaving them all a little stunned. Su Tewei felt as if a fishbone was stuck in his throat. The words he had prepared were useless, making him feel very frustrated. He had originally planned to wait for Lin Yi to refuse so that he could give a long speech to persuade him with both reason and emotion, but it turned out that it was completely unnecessary. Seeing the shocked expressions of the crowd, Lin Yi smiled and said, Haha, you know, I'm the eldest lady's follower. I don't usually get to drink at home, so I'm a little greedy. As soon as Lin Yi said this, everyone suddenly understood. So that's how it is. But thinking about it, it's true. As Chu Mengyao's follower, Lin Yi was hired by Chu Pengzhan. You can't drink in a bar every day. That's not right. So when he finally got such an opportunity, Lin Yi naturally wouldn't let it go. Hearing Lin Yi's words, everyone was relieved. They had originally thought that Lin Yi was up to some trick, but it seemed that he had really decided to get drunk. Ganglao, go get a few boxes of beer to quench your thirst first, and then go straight to white wine, and Xuanyuan ordered Yang Ganglao. Mixing beer and baijiu can easily lead to intoxication and damage the stomach. Excessive drinking can cause gastric bleeding or perforation. And Xuanyuan is quite cunning, even resorting to several cases of beer to quench his thirst. But Xuanyuan's goal is to drink Lin Yi to death. Even if he can't, he'll have to get him drunk so he can put on a show. Although Lin Yi seems to have a decent alcohol tolerance, and Xuanyuan isn't worried at all. He, Su Taizao, and Yang Ganglao are all experts in the alcohol-killing arena. Which of the four young masters of Songshan back then didn't have an astonishing alcohol tolerance? Military strategist Yang Ganglao is even more so. Even when no one is trying to persuade him to drink, he drinks constantly at home. Every time he tries to sabotage someone, he has to down a bottle of strong baijiu. Is this kind of drunkard reasonable? Of course, if these three can't get Lin Yi down, they still have a killer weapon, Su Taiwei. This kid is a freak of the Su family, a true drinking jar. Not only can he drink, but he's also proficient in all sorts of dangerous drinking methods, like red wine and Sprite, whiskey and iced black tea, beer and cola, or red, white, and beer all in turn. These are all tricks that can kill people without any remorse. Others might die instantly after drinking these tricks, but Su Taiwei grew up immersed in a drinking jar. His father is in charge of the Su family's brewing business, so he is basically a drinking jar. With Su Taiwei as his life-saving trump card, what is Xuanyuan afraid of? Quickly, led by Yang Ganglao, several waiters filed in and carried in several boxes of beer printed with foreign words and placed them on the ground. After Lin Yi took a look, a trace of anger suddenly flashed through his heart. These guys are too mean, aren't they? They actually use the highest proof beer? If it weren't for his knowledge, anyone else would have been in the hospital today. And Xuanyuan said he wanted to get a few cases of beer to quench his thirst, but the beer Yang Ganglao asked the waiter to bring in was a high-alcohol beer called Tactical Nuclear Penguin. The alcohol content of Tactical Nuclear Penguin was 6 times that of ordinary beer. Of course, this was nothing to Lin Yi, but for ordinary people, it was enough to make them drunk. Chapter 393 just changed to white. Mr. Lin, please, and Xuanyuan attentively took out a few cans of beer from the box and placed them on the table. He said to Lin Yi, summer is coming soon, it's very hot. How about some beer to quench your thirst? I'm not interested in drinking beer right now, Lin Yi said with a lack of interest. Drinking requires several people to drink together. It's not mineral water, how can it quench your thirst? Then let's drink together. And Xuanyuan thought to himself, isn't it easier for several people to drink together? We're a group of people, and you can drink one. As he said that, he raised his glass. I toast you. I'll drink it, it's up to you whether you drink it or not. As he said that, and Xuanyuan tilted his head back and drank a can of beer. Although the alcohol content of this beer is not low, it is really nothing for an alcoholic like Xuanyuan. And Xuanyuan can drink a lot, and he can even drink a few bottles of magnate without any problem. Which of the former 4 young masters of Songshan is not a wine jar? What also reassures Xuanyuan is that he has a trump card today, Su Taiwei. Okay, Lin Yi nodded, imitating Xuanyuan's example, tilting his head back and placing the empty bottle on the table. Brother Lin, you're such a drinker, and Xuanyuan praised him as he calmly lifted the empty bottle from Lin Yi's desk, set it on the floor, and replaced it with a freshly opened can of beer. And Xuanyuan wanted to check if Lin Yi had actually downed the beer, and when he found the can empty, he felt relieved. However, he also scoffed at himself for being too cautious. This Tactical Nuclear Penguin beer was extremely rare. He had specially asked a friend to bring these cases from abroad. Lin Yi, a country bumpkin, must have thought it was just some ordinary foreign liquor, usually lower in alcohol content, which is why he guzzled it all in one gulp. But whatever, let this country bumpkin drink to his heart's content. Everyone should finish a beer with him, and then follow up with some baijiu. It wouldn't be long before Lin Yi was in the hospital. This beer tastes good? Haven't seen it before. Lin Yi pretended to be very curious and looked at the words printed on the outside of the beer. Yes, foreign liquor, very expensive, Su Taizao laughed. He was afraid that Lin Yi would see the alcohol content written on the bottle, so he quickly interrupted him. Let's have another drink. Okay, Lin Yi nodded readily. Su Taizao and Lin Yi happily drank a can of beer each. And Xuanyuan nodded secretly. He felt that he had seen through Lin Yi. This guy was actually a bumpkin, a little clever, but obviously liked to take advantage of small things, otherwise he would not show up every time he was invited to dinner. Seeing the way Lin Yi drank, and Xuanyuan understood. This guy probably didn't drink foreign liquor much. Now that he had the chance, how could he let it go? He was originally thinking about how to fool Lin Yi and let the people at the table take turns to toast Lin Yi, but now there was no need to fool him. What's more, something happened that surprised Xuanyuan even more. After Lin Yi and Su Tai finished their beer, they seemed unsatisfied. They took a few sips from the empty cans before reluctantly putting them down. Although Lin Yi's reaction was subtle and he didn't say much, and Xuanyuan noticed and felt even more pleased. Actually, it tastes just average, nothing special, Lin Yi said calmly. And Xuanyuan wanted to laugh. Average? Why would you drink so fast? Maybe you had some foreign liquor and don't want to owe me a favor? But Xuanyuan kept quiet. To him, none of this mattered. As long as Lin Yi could get into the hospital, it was all that mattered. Brother Lin, I'll toast you too. Yang Ganglao stood up and handed Lin Yi another beer. Thank you so much for what you did the other day, and, haha, no problem, Lin Yi said, unable to conceal his surprise. He took the beer from Yang Ganglao and downed it in one gulp. A wheel tactic? Haha, that's quite creative. Lin Yi scoffed. If he didn't have to stay in Songshan City, Lin Yi wouldn't mind throwing these idiots out of the upstairs window right now, letting them experience what it's like to be superhuman. But now, at least on the surface, Lin Yi wouldn't cause any trouble, so he took a spectator's view of Xuanyuan and the others' plans. After Yang Gang went downstairs, Su Taiwei returned, but this time he was holding 4 cans of beer. He placed 2 in front of Lin Yi and then opened the remaining 2. Brother, you saved N's life, which is equivalent to saving my life. 1 can of beer isn't enough to express my gratitude, so I'll use 2. But Brother Lin, feel free to do whatever you want. Lin Yi saw through his intentions immediately. He probably knew that after drinking so much beer, he would just drink it casually. It was impossible for several people to take turns getting Lin Yi drunk like they were doing now. He was the last one left, and he had to seize this opportunity. Since Wei Jie can do it, I'll do it too, Lin Yi thought to himself. There's still someone calling himself Wei Jie? Isn't this guy too awesome? So Lin Yi deliberately pronounced the first character of Gan, dried fruit, with a 4th tone, echoing Wei Jie's tone. Su Taiwei naturally caught on to Lin Yi's trick, but since he was drinking with Lin Yi, he pretended not to hear. He smiled and said, okay, I'll drink first, then, after 2 cans of beer, Su Taiwei drank as if it were water, his face not flushed, his heart not fluttering, and he felt nothing unusual. But Lin Yi, on the other hand, was no different. And Xuanyuan and Su Taiwei exchanged a glance, each with a flicker of shock. It seemed Lin Yi could hold his liquor quite well. It was a good thing they had Su Taiwei here, otherwise, they might not have been able to do anything to Lin Yi. Seeing that this wouldn't have much of an impact on Lin Yi, and Xuanyuan winked at Yang Ganglao, telling him to proceed with his plan and skip the beer. While the alcohol content of the beer was not low, it was still far inferior to Beiju. Instead of drinking a belly full of beer, it would be better to switch to another Beiju. What if Lin Yi gets drunk and ends up drinking white wine? It would be a waste if he doesn't drink it. Brother Lin, you're such a drinker. I admire you, Yang Ganglao said with a smile. It seems like you're a wine lover too. Why don't we switch to white wine? Otherwise, it won't be fun anymore. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Lin Yi threw the empty beer can in his hand. If you had told me earlier, I wouldn't have drunk beer. I'm not interested in low alcohol drinks. Brother entreated me to red wine, but it was so uncomfortable. Since we weren't familiar with each other, I couldn't ask for anything. But this time, it doesn't matter. We're all familiar with each other, so let's just switch to white wine. Chapter 394 Drink from the Bottle. Yang Ganglao didn't expect Lin Yi to be so straightforward. He was stunned and looked at Xuanyuan. And Xuanyuan was not afraid. With Su Taiwei as his trump card, what was he afraid of? He was just afraid that Lin Yi would not drink. As long as Lin Yi was willing to drink, he would not be afraid of drinking him to death. No wonder Brother Lin didn't drink much last time. It turned out that he felt that the red wine was not strong enough, and Xuanyuan suddenly realized. No wonder Lin Yi was unhappy last time. It turned out that this guy was secretly annoyed that he didn't let him drink enough. And Xuanyuan had been wondering why Lin Yi punished him before. He and Lin Yi had no grudges. Why would Lin Yi punish him? Lin Yi was just a bodyguard of Chu Mengyao, not a boyfriend. He was hired by Chu Pengzhan. He only needed to take care of Chu Mengyao's personal safety. Why would he care whether he pursued Chu Mengyao or not? It was even more impossible to say that they had an unintentional grudge in the past. If there was a grudge before, would Lin Yi still save him at the amusement park? So Xuanyuan couldn't understand why Lin Yi would do something to him. After thinking about it, this was the only reason. Lin Yi came to the banquet as his savior, and he didn't let him drink well and enjoy himself. Naturally, he felt resentful, so he vented a little. And the last time, it can be seen that it was quite accidental. Because Lin Yi didn't know in advance that Li Chihu was there, and didn't know that he was going to call him a lady, everything was sudden and there was no design. So the more this happened, the more it proves that Lin Yi didn't want to deal with him before, and that dealing with him was a spur-of-the-moment decision. Of course, and Xuanyuan really underestimated Lin Yi. Let alone playing tricks on others, Lin Yi didn't need to prepare anything in advance to kill people. Lin Yi laughed lightly, as if he knew it was okay. Seeing Lin Yi's look, and Xuanyuan was even more certain that Lin Yi didn't drink well last time. Ganglao, bring the white wine, and Xuanyuan ordered Yang Ganglao. Okay, brethren. Yang Ganglao quickly ran out of the box and gave a few instructions to the waiter at the door. Since everything had been explained before, Yang Ganglao didn't need to say much nonsense. Not long after Yang Ganglao came back, the waiter brought 3 bottles of magnate and various dishes were also served. They were obviously prepared in advance. This made Lin Yi feel that this Xuanyuan was not a good person. When they drank beer before, there was not a single dish on the table. Although it was just to quench thirst, drinking on an empty stomach is the easiest to harm the body and the easiest to get drunk. It is estimated that these guys would have eaten something before, but Lin Yi did not eat. With a sneer, Lin Yi thought to himself, it seems that the purpose of these guys is not only to get him drunk, but also to drink him to death. In this case, let me drink you to death first. Just 3 bottles of magnate? Not enough to share, Lin Yi said after taking a look at the magnate in the waiter's hand. Oh, and Xuanyuan was slightly taken aback. He had previously worried that bringing too much at once would scare Lin Yi. After all, baijiu was different from beer. Many people drink beer by the case, but who drinks baijiu by the case? But since Lin Yi had said so, and Xuanyuan naturally complied, bring a case. The waiter nodded quickly and went out to get the baijiu. As the baijiu arrived, Yang Ganglao tried to pour it in a glass, but Lin Yi stopped him. With a wave of his hand, Lin Yi said, pouring it out is too much trouble. Just drink from the bottle, and Xuanyuan, Su Tai's Ao, and the others were stunned. They had never heard of baijiu being drunk from the bottle. They were experienced drinking baijiu, and they had participated in drinking competitions before, but this was a bit terrifying. However, just because Xuanyuan and the others had never heard of it didn't mean Su Taiwei hadn't. His family was a winery, so he usually interacted with wine merchants, who were even more knowledgeable than wine jars. It wasn't uncommon for them to drink guotao from the food stalls. To keep up with these liquor merchants, Su Taiwei had to accompany them to various events, so he frequently visited food stalls. Looks like Brother Lin is a master too, Su Taiwei wasn't surprised. While Lin Yi made him take his opponents seriously, it wasn't to the point of worry. With so many liquor merchants, who wasn't a master at the bar? Su Taiwei had gotten many orders through drinking, so he only paid a little attention to Lin Yi. Okay, it seems Wei Jia is a fellow traveler. I'll drink first. This time, Lin Yi took the initiative, uncapping the magnate in front of him and gulping it down in one gulp. This time, not only in Xuanyuan, but even Su Taiwei was stunned. Baijiu can be toasted from the bottle? This was incredible. Even when Su Taiwei usually drank from bottles with liquor merchants, he would sip slowly, only finishing the bottle when there wasn't much left. But this time, he downed it like beer, something Su Taiwei had never seen before. Yet, even so, a wave of dissatisfaction welled up within him. Among the young masters of Songshan City, Su Taiwei was a well-known alcoholic. How could he tolerate being provoked by a nobody whom Xuanyuan had ordered him to drink into the hospital? No, because that would turn him into a Ninja Turtle. Su Taiwei sneered. A bottle of baijiu was nothing to him. His maximum alcohol tolerance was around 5 bottles. While this one was a bit of a rush, Su Taiwei could handle it. He generously opened the bottle and, like Lin Yi, downed it in one gulp. Though he drank a little too quickly, it didn't affect him at all. His face flushed slightly before returning to normal. However, while Su Taiwei appeared fine on the outside, his stomach was still quite upset. Even someone with a good alcohol tolerance wasn't indestructible, and his stomach wouldn't feel any better after chugging a whole bottle of Beiju. Good wine, let's have more. Lin Yi threw the empty bottle aside, then picked up another bottle of white wine and said. Su Taiwei didn't expect that after Lin Yi drank a bottle, he didn't even take a break, and wanted to continue drinking. He couldn't help but look a little ugly. Let me do it, and Jianwen frowned. He didn't expect Lin Yi to be a drinking jar. It seems that his plan today seems a little difficult to achieve. The so-called expert knows whether it is good or not with just one move, that's the truth. After Lin Yi drank a bottle, nothing happened. And Jianwen now understood that Lin Yi really could drink. And Jianwen drank the amount of 2 bottles of white wine, but it was the first time to drink it directly from mouth to mouth. He opened the bottle and started to pour it in with his head held high. Chapter 395. Wait a minute. Puff. Just as he was about to drink a bottle of Beiju, and Jianwen finally couldn't hold it in anymore and spat it out, coughing non-stop, cough cough. Cough cough, and Jianwen was so irritated by the Beiju that tears came to his eyes. He had never drunk alcohol so quickly before. Although he could hold his liquor, his stomach and esophagus couldn't handle it, and he choked on it all at once. And Jianwen's face turned pale and he coughed for a long time. Su Taizao and Yang Ganglao kept patting his back for a while before Jianwen's face regained color. However, in this situation, it was absolutely impossible to continue drinking. And Jianwen looked at Lin Yi with a trace of resentment. This kid was pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger. He could obviously drink a lot, but he didn't say it before. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have used this trick. Brethren, are you okay? Shall we continue? Lin Yi's words made Jianwen almost cough again. Still want to continue? Are you trying to kill yourself? And Jianwen's face was very ugly. He wanted to strangle Lin Yi to death. He was in such a state, and he still let him drink? Do you want to drink yourself to death? At this moment, he forgot that it was he who wanted to drink Lin Yi to death before. And Jianwen was a little embarrassed. Today he wanted to teach Lin Yi a lesson, but he didn't expect to hit Lin Yi's strong point. If he gave up and admitted defeat, he would completely lose face. Especially when he saw Lin Yi still fiddling with his mobile phone, and Jianwen knew that the scene just now might have been recorded by Lin Yi. In an instant, the feelings of humiliation, dissatisfaction, anger, and hatred flashed through his heart one by one. No, he couldn't admit defeat. If he admitted defeat, Chu Mengyao would probably laugh to death. He wanted to teach Lin Yi a lesson, but he was taught a lesson instead. If this gets out, where's the face of the 4th young master of Songshan? Especially after being taught a lesson for the first time, he came to ask for trouble for the second time. If he is taught a lesson again for the second time, how will Jianwen feel? Let me do it. Su Taiwei saw Jianwen's face changing unpredictably and knew that Jianwen was in trouble. Among them, Su Taiwei had the best alcohol tolerance. If he didn't step up, no one could be Lin Yi's opponent. He hoped that Lin Yi could only drink quickly, but his actual alcohol tolerance was not as good as his. Su Taiwei secretly calculated in his mind. He could drink 5 bottles of wine at a time, and he didn't believe that Lin Yi could finish all 5 bottles without any problems. Okay, Lin Yi agreed directly and readily. Are you okay? Of course, Su Taiwei sneered, thinking, don't act so arrogant, drink 5 bottles and see if you still can fall down? Do you think you are an invincible person? Oh, sorry, I forgot, you are Viagra? How can Viagra not be okay? Lin Yi opened the white wine in his hand, raised the bottle and shook it at Su Taiwei. Damn it! Su Taiwei cursed inwardly, raised the bottle as well, and drank it together with Lin Yi. Huh? Su Taiwei let out a long sigh after finishing the second bottle of white wine. His body felt like it was on fire. He wanted to eat a bite of food to calm it down, but he was too embarrassed to do so. Because Lin Yi was sitting there with a calm face and a calm heart, smiling and recording his situation with his mobile phone. Su Taiwei was holding his breath, but it was not convenient for him to eat the food, so he could only bear it. Taiwei, eat something first. Didn't you say you were hungry when you came here before? Now the food is here, eat something while it's hot. Su Taiwei had already seen that his brother was in a bad condition, and he helped him out without saying a word. Su Taiwei quickly glanced at Su Taizao and said, "Yeah, I've been hungry all the time, so I won't be polite." As he said that, Su Taiwei picked up his chopsticks and started eating with big mouthfuls. Lin Yi looked at Su Taizao and Su Taiwei, the two brothers singing the same tune, and despised them in his heart but didn't say it out loud. He just said lightly, "Since this Wei Jie is already impotent and hungry, then brother Taizao, do you want to continue for him?" "Okay, I'll drink with you." Su Taizao nodded, "But my alcohol tolerance is not very good." "Haha, how about this, you drink it in one breath, and I drink it in 2 batches. Su Taizao saw Xuanyuan's miserable appearance. He didn't have Su Taiwei's alcohol tolerance. He and Xuanyuan had about the same alcohol tolerance. So instead of spraying wine and making a fool of himself after drinking, it's better to be generous and admit that he can't drink much and asks to drink it in 2 batches. "Okay, no problem. You can even drink half." Lin Yi secretly cursed the 2 brothers of the Su family for being shameless, but he said it generously. As soon as Lin Yi said this, Su Taizao's heart almost exploded with regret. "Half is fine? Why didn't you say it earlier? Why would I have to drink it in 2 parts?" But although Su Taizao was a bit shameless, he was not shameless enough, and there was no way to regret it now. Lin Yi still drank the whole bottle of maute without changing his expression, while Su Taizao drank it in 2 parts. He didn't spit out the wine like in Xuanyuan, but he was not much better. After drinking the wine, he sat in his seat and didn't move. It was obvious that the spiciness was very strong. His face was red, and there were tears in his eyes. He tried hard not to cough. He was like a statue, standing there motionless. In fact, Su Taizao didn't dare to move, for he was afraid that if he moved, the wine in his stomach would be sprayed out. "Wei Jie, your brother seems to be in trouble. He is still not as strong as Wei Jie. How about we continue?" Lin Yi asked, looking at Su Taiwei who was desperately trying to eat the food. "Okay. Keep going." Su Taiwei wiped his mouth and nodded. He had just eaten quite a bit and had recovered somewhat. Another bottle shouldn't be a problem. However, he also realized at this moment that Lin Yi's alcohol tolerance was better than his own, as Lin Yi had already drunk 4 bottles. Lin Yi finished a 5th bottle again without any suspense. Su Taiwei went to rest, and it was Yang Ganglao's turn to drink. As a result, Yang Ganglao said directly and shamelessly, "I'll drink half. I really can't drink much. I'll drink first as a toast." After saying that, Yang Ganglao raised the bottle and drank half of it, as if afraid that Lin Yi would regret it. "Wait a minute," Lin Yi said before he finished his sentence and put down the bottle. "Oh? Brother Lin, is there something wrong?" Yang Ganglao thought to himself that it was really a close call. If he had been a step slower, Lin Yi might have regretted it. What he said to Su Taizao before was probably just to piss off Su Taizao. How could he let Su Taizao go? Therefore, Yang Ganglao was very excited about his own intelligence. He was worthy of being a military advisor. He had enough brains. "I have finished drinking now. It is useless for you to say anything more. What do you want? What can you do?" "Hey, you have already finished drinking. There is no point in me saying anything more," Lin Yi sighed. Chapter 396 How do you drink? "Really, Brother Lin? Then go ahead and tell me. I'll be more careful next time." Yang Ganglao thought to himself, "You also know that it's meaningless?" But it was too late. "What I want to say is that you can't drink much, so drink less. Usually it's too much. 1/3 will be enough," Lin Yi said. "Huh?" Yang Ganglao felt his blood rushing up, and the alcohol rushed to his head. He almost passed out from drunkenness. 1/3 will be enough? 1/3? Why didn't you say it earlier? Why didn't you say it earlier? Why? And Xuanyuan, Su Taizao, and Su Taiwei all looked sympathetic and indignant. It was definitely not that Lin Yi didn't have time to say it. If he wanted to say it, he could have said it while Yang Ganglao was drinking. There was no need to wait until he finished drinking before slowly blurting out such a sentence. So it was certain that Lin Yi was playing a trick on Yang Ganglao. No matter how much Yang Ganglao drank, he would come up with something to anger him. The saying goes, a bystander sees more clearly than someone involved. Even Xuanyuan could see through the tricks, but Yang Ganglao couldn't. He considered himself a military strategist, a man of exceptional intelligence, supposedly skilled at scheming against others. But in the end, he hadn't managed to scheme against Lin Yi. How could he feel? He didn't need to drink that much, yet he foolishly drank half a bottle. He truly didn't deserve the title of military strategist. Stars flashed in Yang Ganglao's eyes. His anger took over, and he passed out drunk on the table. And Jianwen frowned. Wasn't Yang Ganglao's mental fortitude truly that poor? He still wanted to be a military strategist? However, everyone at the table had taken turns drinking with Lin Yi. He'd already downed 6 bottles of baijiu, so how could he act so calm? Had he been raised in a jar of liquor? But Jianwen couldn't just give up. Since he'd already started a fight, how could he stop? Would stopping mean admitting defeat to Lin Yi? Damn it. If no one saw him, he could have just admitted defeat, or denied it. But Lin Yi was fiddling with his phone. He'd probably recorded everything that happened. If Chu Mengyao saw it, his image would be completely ruined. Let's continue. Su Taiwei gritted his teeth. The Su family was not like the N family. Many business matters depended on Jianwen. Although his cousin was also one of the 4 young masters of Songshan, his influence was far inferior to that of the N family. The N family had some influence in the province, while the Su family was limited to Songshan city. So, seeing Jianwen's hesitant and embarrassed look, Su Taiwei decided to grit his teeth and persevere. Haha, I was worried about not having an opponent. Lin Yi glanced at Su Taiwei. This guy was really working hard. Su Taiwei opened a bottle of magnate, hesitated for a moment, and then asked, 3 points. His maximum alcohol tolerance was 5 bottles, but that was limited to drinking slowly and steadily. He probably wouldn't be able to hold out for much longer if he drank so quickly. Su Taiwei felt very uncomfortable in his stomach now, so he had to show weakness and wanted to ask Lin Yi if it was okay to drink 1/3 as he said before. However, Lin Yi did not give Su Taiwei a chance to speak. Viagra is still powerful, unlike that loser just now, who passed out after drinking half a bottle. Viagra is poured from the bottle, and there is no problem at all. Otherwise, can you call him Viagra? Just call him loser brother. Right, this. Su Taiwei's face turned green. Can you wait for me to finish speaking? Can you? Can you? Su Taiwei cursed, but Lin Yi's words provoked him to this point, and he could not mention the 1/3 thing again. Would that make him loser brother? Su Taiwei had no choice but to say, okay, but I may not drink it very quickly, please forgive me, haha, it's okay. Lin Yi smiled, raised a bottle of white wine in front of him and drank it all. Su Taiwei sighed, helpless, and imitated Lin Yi, picking up the bottle and chugging down gulps, though he took several breaths in between before finishing the entire bottle of baijiu. It seemed Su Taiwei had almost reached his limit. Seeing that Lin Yi was still fine, his face still rosy and not a trace of fatigue, Su Taiwei wanted to cry, but there were no tears. Why did he even get into a drinking contest with such a pervert? If he had known this would happen, he would have given up drinking, even if it meant eating shit. Are you still going? Su Taiwei was really exhausted. He had already drunk 4 bottles in a row. Although 5 bottles was usually his limit, he would usually vomit after drinking them, but now he couldn't, so he could only force himself to hold it in. No more. Lin Yi shook his head, making Su Taiwei breathe a sigh of relief. And Jianwen and Su Taiwei also breathed a sigh of relief. But they were a little puzzled. Why didn't Lin Yi continue? Was he also at his limit? He couldn't? But as long as he didn't continue, it would be fine, regardless of whether he had reached his limit or had a change of heart. It's better not to continue. There's no point in drinking like this. It's so boring to drink bottle after bottle, Su Taiwei said in agreement. It's really boring, so I decided not to continue. Lin Yi smiled, but said, let's do something interesting. What interesting? Su Taiwei saw Lin Yi's bright smile and suddenly felt something was wrong. Had he been tricked? What was Lin Yi going to do? Waiter, bring some red wine, Lin Yi shouted towards the door of the private room. Oh? Drink red wine? Su Taiwei was stunned, but then overjoyed. The alcohol content of red wine is much lower than that of white wine. If he switched to a red wine competition, he could hold on for a while. Su Taiwei felt that Lin Yi had probably reached his limit. He had drunk 4 bottles, but Lin Yi had drunk 7 bottles. What's the concept of 7 bottles of white wine? It's good enough if he didn't die from drinking. Maybe Lin Yi was just doing a good job of pretending to be fine. Otherwise, if he was fine, why would he switch to red wine? Su Taiwei was afraid that Lin Yi would change his mind again, so he quickly shouted, waiter, red wine. Hurry up. Yes, coming. The waiter walked into the private room with a box of red wine. Because of his previous experience with beer and white wine, he didn't need to be told this time, and he just brought in a box of red wine. And Xuanyuan and Su Teiwei breathed a sigh of relief. They were really afraid that Su Teiwei would not be able to hold on and would fall down. But it didn't matter now. If it came to a red wine competition, Su Teiwei would definitely be able to hold on for a while. And Xuanyuan put 2 bottles of red wine on the table, handed one to Lin Yi, and placed the other in front of Su Teiwei. How do you drink it? You decide. This time Su Teiwei was very generous. He was not afraid of how to drink red wine. Not to mention 1 bottle, even 2 bottles would not matter. So Su Teiwei was very confident this time. Chapter 397, Vomiting Blood. Drink it the way I say, Lin Yi asked Su Teiwei, holding up the wine bottle. The initiative was now completely in Lin Yi's hands. Unknowingly, Lin Yi had become the master of this private room. Yes, drink it the way you say, Su Teiwei nodded. Who was he afraid of when it came to drinking wine? Okay, Lin Yi put down the wine in his hand, stood up, and walked to the sterilizer beside the private room. He took out 2 large draft beer cups, placed one in front of Su Teiwei, and took the other back to his seat. Su Teiwei was a little confused. He didn't know what Lin Yi was doing with the cups. Was he going to pour it out and drink it? You can drink wine from mouth to mouth. Just as Su Teiwei, and Xuanyuan, and Su Tei's were puzzled, Lin Yi opened the wine bottle and poured the entire contents into the large draft beer cup in front of him. Su Teiwei was about to follow suit, but he saw Lin Yi pick up a can of beer on the table, open it, and pour it into the draft beer cup. The corner of Su Teiwei's mouth twitched. Mixing red wine and beer? If it was just ordinary beer, it would be fine, but adding this kind of strong beer is much better than drinking white wine directly. Su Teiwei gritted his teeth and could barely accept it. So he also imitated Lin Yi and poured the red wine and beer into the draft beer cup separately. However, just after pouring and about to speak, he saw Lin Yi move again. This time, Lin Yi opened another bottle of white wine and poured it directly into the draft beer cup. Huh? Su Teiwei was dumbfounded. Add white wine? Red wine, beer, and white wine, mixed together to drink, wouldn't that be fatal? Normally, drinking 1 or 2 small cups would be no problem. In fact, Su Teiwei often showed off his special skills to those wine merchants, that is, drinking red, white and yellow wine together, which made those people amazed. Whenever this happened, Su Teiwei would enjoy it very much, very proud, and very awesome. He was proud of his special skills. But now, Su Teiwei's unique skills became a joke in front of this huge draft beer cup. Drinking a small cup is fine, but drinking such a large draft beer cup, isn't that courting death? Lin Yi didn't care what Su Teiwei thought. He picked up the draft beer cup in front of him and waved it at Su Teiwei. Come on, let's continue. Su Teiwei was really regretful. He had previously thought that Lin Yi just wanted to drink red wine, so he said the bold statement that you can drink whatever you want. But now, Lin Yi wanted to drink this mixed wine, and Su Teiwei just didn't want to, and there was nothing he could do. And Xuanyuan and Su Tei's were also helpless. They couldn't help Su Teiwei at all, so they could only silently support him mentally. Lin Yi drank the mixed wine in the draft beer cup in one gulp and looked at Su Teiwei with a smile. Su Teiwei had no choice but to bite the bullet and pick up the glass of mixed wine and gulp it down. After finishing the drink, Su Teiwei's face instantly turned red and white. It was incredibly exciting. He clutched his stomach with one hand, and beads of sweat broke out on his forehead. Su Teiwei felt like he was dying. His stomach felt like it was about to explode, stirring up a turbulent storm, making him feel like he was about to collapse. But he couldn't lose face, absolutely not. Good, it really is Viagra, it's just better than most, Lin Yi nodded in praise. Haha, Su Teiwei felt like crying. But he could only smile helplessly at Lin Yi's praise. At this point, he would rather be a loser than Viagra. Let's continue, this is how it makes drinking more fun, Lin Yi said, fetching a few more bottles of red wine, placing a few in front of Su Teiwei and a few in front of himself. Lin Yi continued to mix a glass of mixed wine, and Su Teiwei had no choice but to follow Lin Yi's lead. Lin Yi raised his glass and quickly downed it faster than he could drink plain water. Su Teiwei took a deep breath and began to pour wine into his stomach. However, when he was halfway through drinking, he finally couldn't hold on. Because he felt that his stomach was no longer his own and was wriggling rapidly. With a puff, All the wine he had drunk before was vomited out, spraying all over the floor, mixed with large amounts of blood. Cough cough, cough cough. Su Taiwei began to cough loudly, and with each cough, he would cough up a lot of blood. Taiwei, what's wrong with you? Su Taiwei was startled and hurriedly went over to support Su Taiwei, patting his back gently, but the coughing did not stop, and Su Taiwei was still coughing up blood in large mouthfuls. Taiwei, send Taiwei to the hospital, and Jianwen frowned. He could see that Su Taiwei had reached his limit today. The last 2 glasses of mixed wine were completely forced in. If it was ordinary liquor, it would be fine, but it was mixed. How could nothing happen? It's okay, it seems to be gastric bleeding. Finally, Su Taiwei stopped coughing. He had been coughing before because the mixture of wine and blood choked into his trachea. Now he could tell the bad news. Su Taiwei waved his hand. I can go to the hospital by myself. Brother Jianwen, cousin, I rely on you here, let us take you there. Su Taiwei was very worried about Su Taiwei's condition. No, if I give up now, my previous efforts will be in vain. Su Taiwei shook his head and gave up soon. Okay, be careful, and Jianwen sighed. Call me when you get to the hospital. I know, brethren. Su Taiwei endured the pain, limped out of the box, and quickly ran downstairs. Brother Lin, you see Taiwei has developed gastric bleeding from drinking. Should we try a more polite way of drinking? Su Taiwei's eyes were filled with hatred when he spoke. Su Taiwei was his cousin. How could he not be angry when he was sent to the hospital by drinking? And Jianwen also had a gloomy face, not smiling at all. He probably hated Lin Yi in his heart. Gastric bleeding? I think it's gastric perforation. Lin Yi shook his head. Don't die. What? Gastric perforation? Su Taiwei was shocked. Why didn't you tell me earlier? You didn't ask me. Lin Yi shrugged. Otherwise, I would give him a massage. Maybe it can stop the bleeding. And Jianwen and Su Taiwei remembered that Lin Yi seemed to know medical skills, and he seemed to be quite strong. Last time Jianwen had food poisoning, it was Lin Yi who rescued him. And Jianwen had never regarded Lin Yi as a savior, but an enemy, so he would never think about it at all. After hearing what Lin Yi said, he secretly regretted it. Chapter 398. Why are you repaying kindness with enmity? You Su Taiwei hated him very much? Since you can stop the bleeding, why didn't you say it earlier? You had to wait for Su Taiwei to leave for a while before you said it. If you didn't do it on purpose, what could you say? It was obviously impossible to chase Su Taiwei now. Su Taiwei ran out quickly and should be in a taxi now. We can only pray that he arrives at the hospital safely. Haha, what you said is right, Brother Lin. We were a little drunk and forgot about this, and Jianwen winked at Su Taiwei, signaling him not to be impulsive. Su Taiwei didn't say anything else, but took a deep breath to calm himself down. I'm going to the bathroom to flush the toilet and will continue later. Lin Yi stood up. This time he did not choose to leave the box, but walked directly into the bathroom inside the box. After drinking so many bottles of wine before, even if it was just water, Lin Yi had to go to the toilet. Brethren, don't let this guy off so easily. After Lin Yi entered the restroom, Su Taiwei lowered his voice and said, give Taiwei a stomach bleed. I'll make him pay, and Jianwen nodded. Execute plan 2. Tell the waiter, no matter what happens in the private room, don't open the door. I told you so. Su Taiwei was overjoyed and hurried out to give the waiter a few words. And Jianwen, on the other hand, called his driver and said simply, bring up the inflatable doll we prepared. Is this reliable? Will it work? Su Taiwei's concerns grew again. It should work, and Jianwen said, Brother Chihu gave it to me. It should be fine. He said it's the most advanced medicine, called something like invincible 8 times. With that, and Jianwen poured 3 glasses of red wine and sprinkled a packet of powdered substance into Lin Yi's glass. That's good, haha, now we'll have some fun. Su Taiwei tried his best to suppress his laughter, not letting it get too loud and attracting the attention of Lin Yi in the bathroom. Why is this guy taking so long to pee? Is he going to the toilet? I want to pee too. I just drank too much. Now that you mention it, I want to pee too. And Jianwen frowned, wondering why Lin Yi was so slow. Lin Yi had actually pulled up his pants long ago. He was just eavesdropping on what Jianwen and Su Taiwei were saying in the bathroom. A sneer crossed his face. These 2 guys really weren't giving up and were still trying to play tricks. Inflatable doll? This Jianwen is really mean. Lin Yi pushed open the restroom door, feigning ignorance. He waved apologetically to Xuanyuan and Su Taizao. Sorry. I drank too much, so there's a lot of water in my stomach, and it took a while. Have you two been here for a while? No problem, we're going to the restroom too, and Xuanyuan and Su Taizao, unable to hold their bladder any longer, quickly stood up and ran to the bathroom. Lin Yi sneered. If the two weren't desperate to pee, Lin Yi would have forced them to hold their bladder in the restroom, at most, just a little longer. Lin Yi glanced at the 3 glasses of red wine on the table, then smiled. He quickly poured one of the 2 glasses in front of Xuanyuan and Su Taizao into the corner, then took the other and placed it in front of himself. After doing all this, Lin Yi poured half of the glass of wine that Xuanyuan had tampered with into the empty glass, then filled the 2 half glasses of the offending wine again before returning to his seat. After waiting for a while, Xuanyuan and Su Taizao came out of the bathroom. Seeing Lin Yi fiddling with his phone, they thought he was going to record another video, but then they heard Lin Yi say, "Let's have a few more drinks and then we'll eat quickly. Miss Chu just called and told me to go back as soon as possible." Oh, Xuanyuan and Su Taizao looked at each other and were immediately overjoyed. Their joy had 2 meanings. One was that they were just thinking about how to persuade Lin Yi to have a glass of red wine, and Lin Yi actually took the initiative to ask for it. The other was that Lin Yi had been on the phone in the private room, and they hadn't heard anything in the bathroom. This also meant that Lin Yi, who was in the bathroom, couldn't hear their conversation in the private room either. This way, they wouldn't have to worry about their plan being exposed. Okay, that's it. I just poured 3 glasses of red wine, and since Brother Lin said so, let's have one last one. Su Taizao smiled and raised the glass in front of him. I'll finish it first. Okay, then, one last one. Lin Yi nodded and picked up the glass in front of him. Xuanyuan was also overjoyed, so the 3 of them drank it all in one gulp and prepared to start eating. Why am I so hot? And a little dizzy. After taking 2 bites of the food, Lin Yi suddenly covered his forehead and said. In fact, he didn't know what the so-called invincible 8 times lang would look like when it took effect, but it would definitely not be so soon. Haha, Xuanyuan laughed as soon as he heard what Lin Yi said. Lin Yi had been tricked, so this time he was not afraid of Lin Yi, and it didn't matter if they broke up. Sure enough, Lin Yi's current symptoms were similar to what Li Chihu had told him. It seemed that the drug had taken effect. What are you laughing at? Lin Yi asked in surprise. Haha, Lin Yi, don't you know? You have been tricked by an aphrodisiac called invincible 8 times lang. You have already taken effect and will lose your mind soon. Xuanyuan laughed and said, I put the drug in the red wine you just drank. Why did you do this? Lin Yi looked at Xuanyuan angrily. Why? Haha, since you want to know why so much, then I'll tell you. Xuanyuan said, you got us beaten up last time. We were planning to send you to the hospital this time, but we didn't expect you to be so drunk that you ended up sending Su Taizao to the hospital. You caused my brother to have a gastric perforation. How could I let you go? Su Taizao followed. Lin Yi, the effect of your medicine will become stronger and stronger in a while. If you don't vent, you will feel very uncomfortable. But don't worry, brother and I have prepared an inflatable doll for you. Look how thoughtful we are. You, Lin Yi widened his eyes, looking at Xuanyuan and Su Taizao in disbelief. How could you two treat me like this? Xuanyuan, I saved your life, but not only are you ungrateful, but you are trying to harm me in different ways. How can you repay kindness with enmity? So what? Who told you not to explain clearly before? I like Chu Mengyao, but you pretended to be her boyfriend. I hurt you, and I can only say that you deserve it. You asked for it, Xuanyuan roared, although you saved me, so what? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 399 Keep it for yourself. At that moment, there was a knock on the door. Su Taizao opened it and saw Xuanyuan's driver standing there, holding a woven silk bag. Inside was clearly an inflatable doll. Su Taizao took the bag and said to Xuanyuan's driver, alright, tell the waiters nearby to move away. Tell them not to come near, no matter what noises are made in the room. Yes, Mr. Su. Xuanyuan's driver nodded and went off to do his work. Hey, Lin Yi, The inflatable doll is ready for you. How is it? Pretty good, isn't it? Su Taizao said, as he was about to open the woven silk bag. Well, that's just bad luck. I wonder if you've heard the story of Mr. Dongo. Lin Yi sighed and looked at Jianwen and Su Taizao. Mr. Dongo's story? What does that mean? And Jianwen was stunned, confused that Lin Yi would be in the mood to talk about Mr. Dongo's story at this hour. You haven't heard of it either. Lin Yi looked at Su Taizao. Lin Yi, the effects of the drug are about to kick in. Think about how to deal with this. Do you want an inflatable doll, or should we find you a prostitute? Su Tai curled his lips and didn't answer Lin Yi's question. In his eyes, Lin Yi had become a vulnerable target. As long as they could record a video of him having the effects, Chu Mengyao would be able to fire him. Or, should we find you a sow? And Jianwen added, finding Lin Yi's storytelling at this moment completely incomprehensible. Ho ha, Su Tai laughed out loud at Jianwen's humorous remark. Lin Yi gave the two of them a pitiful look and said calmly, since you don't know, let me tell you a story. It's about Mr. Donguo and the wolf. Are you okay? And Jianwen looked at Lin Yi with a hint of surprise. He didn't know if this guy was truly stupid or just pretending. The drug was about to kick in, yet he still had the time to study Mr. Donguo and the wolf. Lin Yi ignored Jianwen and slowly began to tell a story. Once upon a time, there was a scholar named Mr. Donguo. One day, Mr. Donguo was traveling to a distant place. On his way, a wounded wolf suddenly ran up to him and pleaded, Sir, I'm being chased by a hunter. He's shot me. Please save me, and I'll repay you handsomely. Although Mr. Donguo knew wolves were inherently evil, he felt pity for the wolf and, after a moment's hesitation, hid it in his book bag. A short while later, a hunter caught up and found the wolf gone, leaving Mr. Donguo sitting by the roadside. He asked Mr. Donguo, did you see a wolf? Mr. Donguo replied, no. The hunter, not expecting Mr. Donguo to deceive him, went looking elsewhere. The wolf, in his book bag, heard the hunter walk away and emerged. However, instead of repaying Mr. Donguo's kindness, it suddenly pounced on him, threatening to eat him. And then what? That fool, Mr. Donguo, was eaten by a wolf? Don't tell me you're Mr. Donguo. Ha. And Jianwen, having heard Lin Yi's story, naturally understood the illusion, but he laughed unconcernedly. No, the hunter returned and killed the wolf, Lin Yi said calmly. That just illustrates the truth. Good is rewarded with good, evil with evil. It's not that there's no retribution, it's just that the time hasn't come yet. What do you mean? And Jianwen was stunned. He vaguely sensed that Lin Yi's words hinted at something else, but for a moment, he couldn't figure out what Lin Yi was referring to. Nothing. It's not that there's no retribution, it's just that the time hasn't come yet, Lin Yi laughed. When hasn't come yet? Lin Yi, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And Jianwen was a little angry. It's the medicinal properties. You two just took that invincible 8 times dragon. I guess it's going to take effect soon, right? Lin Yi said. What invincible 8 times dragon? How did we eat it? Did you eat it? And Jianwen was stunned. Excuse me, I've split the glass of red wine in front of me into 2, half for you and half for him, Lin Yi said with a smile. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could you have known in advance that I was going to drug you? And Jianwen's face changed. Although he didn't quite believe what Lin Yi said, he felt that it made sense. The most important thing was, why did he feel hot all over? Oh, if you don't believe me, you can look inside the red wine bottle. Lin Yi pointed to the red wine bottle on the table and said, look, from a bottle of red wine, if you pour out 3 glasses normally, there will be some left. If you pour out 4 glasses, it will be just right. And Jianwen looked at the red wine bottle and was stunned. He had poured the red wine before, so he naturally knew how much was left. Now, looking at this bottle, there was only a bottom left. Obviously someone had poured out some more. Could it be that what Lin Yi said was true? Thinking of this, and Jianwen and Su Taizao's faces suddenly changed. They were already feeling a little hot, and now they felt even hotter. Brethren, is there an antidote? Su Taizao was a little anxious. No, and Jianwen shook his head, looking at Lin Yi with resentment. Did you really change the wine for me? You'll know in a moment, Lin Yi said, standing up. You two can keep the inflatable doll. I'm leaving. But don't fight over it, or a fight would be bad. Before Jianwen and Su Taizao could react, Lin Yi had already left the private room and locked the door from the outside with a thin piece of wire. Because of Jianwen and his driver's instructions, there were no waiters outside the room. Even Jianwen's driver stood far away at the end of the corridor. Mr. Lin, why did you come out? Where are Shao and the others? Jianwen's driver didn't see Lin Yi lock the door clearly, but when he saw Lin Yi approaching, he asked curiously. Oh, they're in the room, playing a novel game, and asked you not to disturb them, Lin Yi said. Okay, Jianwen's driver nodded. He didn't know about the feud between Jianwen and Lin Yi, so he thought Jianwen had sent Lin Yi out to talk to him. Mr. Lin, are you going to? I'm going back to do something for brother. Lin Yi smiled and said, I'm leaving first. Do you need me to take you back? Jianwen's driver asked attentively. Okay, let's go, Lin Yi thought to himself. He had originally wanted to take a taxi back, but he didn't expect someone to offer to take him back. Now he even saved the taxi fare. Chapter 400 Kang Xiaobo's parents' attitude. Jianwen, Su Taizao and Yang Ganglao's cell phones were all taken away by Lin Yi, so at the moment they were in the box, completely isolated from the outside world. Even if they wanted to contact people outside, they couldn't. Although it was unknown whether the crappy medicine they made was effective, even if it was not effective, these two guys must have been scared to death, right? Jianwen's driver respectfully saw Lin Yi off the car, watched Lin Yi enter the villa, and then drove away. Brother Arrow, you are back? Sister Yao was thinking about you just now. Chen Yushu saw Lin Yi coming back and stood up to greet him with a smile. Xiaoshu, don't talk nonsense. When did I miss him? Chu Mengyao frowned. I asked you to call him and ask him if he was embarrassed. Oh, do you hope that I will be embarrassed? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Of course I hope so, Chu Mengyao wanted to say. This was exactly what she'd been thinking. She'd agreed to let Lin Yi go to dinner with Jianwen because she wanted to teach him a lesson through Jianwen, who had asked him to peek at the wish notes she and Chen Yushu had written. However, now that her anger had subsided, Chu Mengyao wasn't so willing to let Lin Yi suffer. She wanted to see how Lin Yi would punish Jianwen. You're back well, and it's obvious nothing's wrong. What's the point of me hoping or not? Chu Mengyao said calmly. How? Lin Yi, already accustomed to the young lady's cold exterior and warm heart, smiled and said nothing. I'll show you the video. I need to go take a shower first. I'm reeking of alcohol. Another video? Oh, great. I thought it wasn't this time. Chen Yushu excitedly took Lin Yi's phone, opened the video file, and started playing it. Although Chu Mengyao said she wasn't interested, she leaned over as Chen Yushu played it. Lin Yi went back to his room to shower. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu sat on the sofa in the living room, watching a video. Seeing Lin Yi and the other four drinking together, Chen Yushu exclaimed, Wow, Sister Yao, Brother Arrow is amazing. He can actually drink so much. What's so good about drinking? Chu Mengyao pouted. If Daddy hadn't been so busy with social events every night, would Mommy have run away? That's not true. I think the way Brother Arrow drinks is so cool. Chen Yushu disagreed. Xiaoshu, how can you be so infatuated? Chu Mengyao scolded Chen Yushu. No, I was just saying it. Chen Yushu blushed slightly and shook her head. Although Chu Mengyao was serious, she was amused by Lin Yi's treatment of Jianwen, Su Taizao, and Yang Ganglao. Su Taiwei was especially amused when he vomited blood. The dramatic scene was like something out of a comedy. Instead of being scary, it was hilarious. Sister Yao, I remember that in Flirting Scholar, there seemed to be someone who vomited blood like this. Chen Yushu thought for a moment and said. It seems so. It seems to be a legal advisor. This Yang Ganglao is also a legal advisor, and he was directly angered by Lin Yi and fainted. Chu Mengyao had to admit that Lin Yi's words were hurtful, but only to the parties involved. As a bystander, it was still very satisfying to watch this video. Seeing the inflatable doll incident later, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu were even more speechless. Aren't Jianwen and Su Taizao too mean? However, Lin Yi's last sentence, asking them to keep it for themselves, made Chu Mengyao feel particularly comfortable. It seems that Lin Yi is not such a pervert that he is not even interested in inflatable dolls. Sister Yao, what does an inflatable doll look like? I have never seen it. Let's go and see it one day, Chen Yushu suggested with some curiosity. What are you looking at? You're looking at me. Chu Mengyao was speechless. She glared at Chen Yushu and said, how can we even go into those adult stores? Oh, How about having Brother Wrigley buy one so we can study it? Chen Yushu thought for a moment and said. No, what if he uses it secretly? That's disgusting. Chu Mengyao refused to agree. Seeing Chu Mengyao's disapproval, Chen Yushu had no choice but to give up. Kang Xiaobo returned home with trepidation. To his dismay, the storm he had imagined didn't come. Kang Xiaobo had prepared himself for a round of lectures from his parents before returning home. Xiaobo's back, both Kang's parents sat on the sofa, their expressions serious but not angry, which surprised Kang Xiaobo slightly. Mom, Dad, I'm back, Kang Xiaobo nodded. I went to the bookstore and got so engrossed in reading that I wasted some time. A bookstore? What books did you buy? Kang's father asked, startled, noticing the bag Kang Xiaobo was carrying. Something about business management, Kang Xiaobo didn't hide. His parents would eventually find out, so it was better to tell them up front to save them the headache. Business management, Kang's father frowned. Why buy business management books if you don't buy books related to your studies? Aren't you just being overly ambitious? Did you get inspired by the banquet today and want to make a career? But you haven't even gotten into college yet, so what's the point of studying business management? Even if you learned it, do you think any company would want you? Even if a company wanted you, wouldn't you just be a clerk? They'd just be clerks after graduating from college, and you haven't even been to college yet. Kang's father ran a small tea house, business neither good nor bad. He knew how hard it was to make money, so when he heard Kang Xiaobo was planning to study business management, he immediately launched into lecture. Yes, Xiaobo, your father and I are neither supportive nor opposed to your relationship with that girl, so there's no need to rush into proving yourself, Kang's mother said with some concern. Dad, Mom, I have a company that wants me, but I don't have the ability to do it. Kang Xiaobo knew his parents had misunderstood when he saw their expressions, and explained with some helplessness. A company wants me? I don't have the ability to do it. Kang's father was stunned. Xiaobo, what do you mean? You don't know anything, and there is a company that wants you. Yes, the boss is going to open a pharmaceutical company and asked me to help. I don't know anything, so I need to learn. Kang Xiaobo spread his hands and said with a wry smile. Boss? Who is your boss? Is he the young man who went with you today? Kang's father was stunned. He wants to open a company? What kind of company? Don't mess around. How can the company he opens be a big company? If you delay the college entrance examination, you will regret it. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.